Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a standalone actual play podcast. Normally I would say that each episode is a separate complete adventure, so you can listen to them in any order, but today is the season 2023 finale! So you might want to have heard other games before you listen to this one. It's the only game that's like that, though, so if you just want to hop into a random adventure, pick any other episode. Today's adventure uses the combat mechanics from the tabletop role-playing game LURPS. If you want to play Lewis's unified role-playing system too, you can find these free rules on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. Try LURPS with some friends. Speaking of friends, we're joined by Lothario Bushaki.
Well, hey everybody, it is so nice to see you again. So, I don't know if you heard my last episode, but I'm wearing, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, number one, I got violet eyes, I'm about 5'9", half elf, auburn hair, still same haircut, shoulder length. Got my crisp goatee going, cream colored skin, and now to the clothes. So, same as last time, I got that mithril scale mail, because Joy wants me to be safe. And I'm like, this is very comfortable, but I'm accessorizing it a little bit different. So, the scale mail, silver, with the gold emblem of a phoenix, but this time instead of maroon, I'm going, I don't know if they have Prussia in this world, but I'll pretend like Prussian blue was a creation. Yeah, it's Prussian blue. It's very dark blue. So dark blue cloak, dark blue hat, very fancy, and then white feather on the hat. And, you know, I'm just chilling wherever we happen to be.
Reine Ilvaby.
Hello, everyone. Still 5'2", still, well, less human looking than the start of the season. Still the same dirty ash blonde hair though, just now, two proud antlers, decorate the top of her head. Then we have, scars and everything, scar over her eye, one which she's blind at, the other eye is this warm orange. As usual, she's still clad in her pale green robes and simple adventurer's clothes, as always sporting her foraging bag with some herbs and other forageables. And since she's not wearing her headscarf anymore, since antlers, her, like, kind of like elf ears, but there's fur on it, are visible as well. So that's not a human, very obviously now.
You've come a long way since the start of the season.
For real.
And Errol Corvid Bow.
Hello, everyone. I am a 4-foot-tall halfling. I am wearing a large, wide-brimmed hat with a feather sticking out of it, an eye patch over my right eye, as well as a burn scar running down the right side of my face and my neck. I also wear a white puffy shirt and gold rings on my fingers, and I currently have a new rapier at my hilt that is stained glass.
Ooh. As if part of a dream, the three of you hear words in Kalamon's soft-spoken tone. You'll never get away with this. We'll remember. We'll remember.
So, GM, as disturbing as that was, are we asleep during this time, or are we together and having like a collective pseudo-hallucination?
You look around. You're all outside in a clearing in the woods. It's a rare, warm day in late autumn/early winter. Unseasonably warm, you stand outside comfortably. And it's a party! Festive streamers decorate the trees in this park, and there's a giant tiered cake 7 feet tall. Grandma D is here, sitting at a picnic table with Lothario's mother Penelope and father Luke and brother Burden. Joy just finished playing a lute and singing a song. Grandma D looks warmly at her then turns to Luke and scowls as if wondering why he couldn't be as impressive.
Oof.
Lothario, she exclaims to you, and gestures for you to sit next to her. I'm sad you haven't introduced this charming young lady to me sooner. What a beautiful voice you have, my dear, she says to Joy. To you, Lothario, she asks, tell me, how did you meet?
Well, Grandma D, I would love, so I sit down next to her because she's inviting me, and I say, oh, well, it's kind of a strange story. So actually me and my man Errol over there, he helped me out of this jam where I was stuck in this cursed, I don't know what you call it, like a circus traveling, carnival of sorts. Carnival of Doom is what I like to call it. Anyway, but the bright spot of that was, number one, Errol's a hero. Number two, Joy was there trapped for over 300 years. And so when I was smitten immediately, as you can imagine. But when we were both released, I was fine because it'd only been like a week that I was out of commission. But Joy, she didn't know how to navigate this world. She'd been out of pocket for 300 years. So I took it upon myself to be responsible to guide her through this world. As, you know, Grandma D, as a gentleman, as you have instructed me over the years to be very proper with the fairer sex. Anyway, so I've been helping her out, you know. She rediscovered her family farm, estate. I don't know what you call it. They don't grow nothing, so it's not really a farm, estate. And then her house is in ruins. I've been helping her out. That's been where I've been, and I'm sorry for not introducing her earlier. I know how you feel about that kind of thing, Grandma D.
She seems to forgive you and turns to Joy. I'm so glad you met Lothario. He was a bit wayward for a while there, but we were all hoping he would settle down. I have something for you, my dear. She reaches into her pocket and takes out a box. Joy opens the box and lifts out a beautiful silver bracelet, the silver catching the light. Why, Demetria, I'm honored. Grandma D helps her fasten the bracelet, and after talking about your great-grandfather, whose silver mine it came from, Grandma D asks, Did you bring that amazing cake, my dear? Joy replies, No, it wasn't me, but it's just lovely.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to compliment Joy on her fabulous song, because, you know, that's polite.
Aw, you guys are all happy, bonding with your family. It's been a while since you've seen your parents and brother and grandma. Errol, you hear laughter and see the woman who raised you, Rowena, telling a joke to your birth mother, Dr. Laurel Ravenwood, and your birth father, Cyril. You catch the very end of the tale. And then he pulled the whole bowl down on his head and got absolutely covered in flour. They all laugh.
Ma, I know you love telling stories about me. Could you do some that are a little more flattering? That one, it's a little embarrassing, and Errol is blushing a little bit.
Errol's blushing. Your birth parents are soaking it up. They missed out on your childhood because of the carnival that was mentioned earlier. And they are really enjoying learning what you were like as a small kid. Aw. Errol, you also recognize a 30-year-old human, 5'9", 180 pounds, black hair, pale skin, wearing dark robes with leather pauldrons. It's Kalaman. That's not surprising. What is surprising is the woman in her 60s who is eating strawberry pretzel dessert next to him. She looks just like him. Black hair, pale skin. Kalaman had been staring at her as if hesitating to ask her a question when he sees you. Errol!
Hey, Kalamon, I'm glad you're able to make it. I was just thinking of you for some reason. I thought I heard you say something earlier.
Did I?
I don't remember actually right now.
Yeah, I don't know. The woman with black hair and pale skin who looks like Kalaman looks up from her strawberry pretzel dessert and says, Did you say his name was Kalaman? I had a dream that I had a son named Kalaman. I can't be sure because of the head trauma and the memory loss I suffered 25 years ago, but I've always told Maury that I think that dream, my son, was real. Anyway, sorry, that probably sounds weird. She looks awkward, like she's always awkward. Like, this is a thing for her. She's just like, she comes in, she says horrible secrets about people. She's like, ah, darn it, I did it again. And then she hands each of you a book and says, I'm Kaling Doriel. Lovely party you have here. I hate to show up to parties empty-handed, so here's a book for each of you. She turns to you, Errol, and asks, did you bake that fantastic cake? Awkwardly making conversation, pointing to the 7-foot-tall cake. Errol, you have received a red book with gold embossed edges. Lothario, you have received a violet book with silver filigree. Reine, you have received a leather-bound book tied shut with a strap. Gonna read that all again for the listeners. For Errol, there's the red book with gold embossed edges. For Lothario, there's a violet book with silver filigree. And for Reine, there's a leather-bound book tied shut with a strap. Let me know when you guys have written that down, and I will continue. And
we received these books all from Kaylin?
Yes, K-E-L-I-N-G, Kaling.
You know, Kaylamon, didn't you tell me that your parents had passed or were missing at some point? I feel like we bonded.
When we met, yeah, we bonded about how neither of us had our parents. She looks a lot like me, don't you think?
I think she just said her last name was Doriel.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't think that's so weird. That seems pretty straightforward to me. Maybe y'all are related. You ever get that checked out? I mean, you're some kind of divination wizard. You can't divine, like, what your family tree is like?
That would be very convenient. That's not how divination works. I get bad dreams. It's really fun. It's the best magic power ever.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Or maybe it's like, trying to comb the back of your own head. Like, you can't see back there. It's like I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying. I have a lot of trust in my barber. Because I don't know what's going on back there, but everybody else does. Like, I'm the only one who don't know.
About that, maybe you should switch barber.
What now?
No,
Reine?
nothing. Hey.
No, that's cool.
Such a pretty hat. Maybe just pull it down in the back a little bit.
Okay. See, you're the only one I can trust, as it turns out. Anybody could have told me this at any time. And as I say that, I'm pulling my hat down just a smidge.
Reine, you see two people eating chips. You'd recognize that strong woman wearing self-made fur anywhere. It's your mom. And your dad, with his self-sewn satchels, you know without looking inside that they contain forageables. As you watch, cousins of yours, members of the village of wolves you haven't seen in years, emerge from the woods into the clearing.
That's strange, but also nice. She'd probably go over and they have all this clashing antlers against antlers and barking at each other and whatever else.
Yipping.
Oh, yeah. Your antlers feel good on your head. You didn't have these for a little bit. It's like you're home for the first time in years, and you see people that you grew up with that you're like, oh my gosh, you're tall now. Your parents reconnect with their, how two sets of parents will raise their kids together, and you guys are all bonding again, with their friends. Yeah.
Oh. Reine is also bonding.
Yeah.
I will turn to my friends because I'm sure there's impending doom later in this episode, but I will say at this moment in time, I'll say, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is.
I have a question, GM. Do we see Xavier Tin Man anywhere at this moment?
No.
Reine, Lothario, do we know who's keeping tabs on Xavier at this moment? We were supposed to be keeping an eye on him, I think.
Are you using the royal we? Because I never got notified about this caretaking situation.
Well, it seems to fall on me a lot, but I thought that we had, the whole guild was supposed to do it, but somehow I got saddled with the responsibility.
You remember how Reine was telling me about the back of my head and nobody told me that before? I got a feeling that it's the same thing with you and Xavier Tin Man. Everybody is supposed to be watching him, but I think it's an Errol job.
Well, I just want to say about that, I don't think all the blame for your hair falls on me because I'm 4 foot tall, so mostly I'm looking at I'm waist high. I can barely see the back of your head.
Fair. No, that's cool. And I'm always facing you because we're talking. And
Yeah.
that's polite. I don't want to turn my back on you. Like, who would do that? So, Xavier Tin Man, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Reine, go ahead.
Yeah, I had Savior duty like 2 days ago, but I had a hystericid emergency yesterday, so I'm not sure whose turn it is right now.
So what's with this book? Is there a title on this book, GM?
Yes. The title is, it's spelled like this. J-U-M as in monkey, P as in pony, right? The first 4. Okay, continuing. A second P as in pony, O-N as in nest, E-N as in nest.
Is that the same title on all 3 books?
No. Lothario, yours has a picture on it. It's like silver filigree, like silver lines all around, and they're silver filigree style forming a teapot. And Reine's is completely simple, leather. You can smell. It smells kind of like a cow. You're thinking this leather came from a cow. You have a really good nose, so you're like, oh, I can detect the animal. Yeah. Yeah, the cake is so pretty. Everyone, your Lothario, your parents and grandma and brother, Errol, the mom who raised you, and your birth parents, Reine, your parents and the clan you haven't seen in years. Everyone is remarking on how pretty that 7 foot tall cake is and how they can't wait to cut into it and eat it. And you're all also holding really beautiful books, gifts from Kaling Doriel.
Talking about that cake, Reine likes food. Does the cake have a scent?
Yes, it smells delicious.
Is there any hint of like egg or sugar, or is it like undefined whatever
Or
I want to
chocolate,
smell?
or strawberry, or a flavor, maybe, besides delicious?
Overwhelmingly butter and sugar at this distance.
I'm surprised
Okay.
Chico isn't here, Lothario, because it seems that every time we're together, there's baked goods involved.
Well, maybe he's inside the cake. Maybe it's like a surprise.
Oh, that would
So
sound...
don't cut into it so flippantly, because we may damage our fellow guild member. I'm having a little bit of a distraction, though, because, my family's here, and my friends and their family are here, and so I'm not focusing on the cake as much, because that's going to be there. But my family, this time is special, so I'm more focused on the people, not so much the book and not so much the cake.
All right. Lothario is spending time with his family. Joy seems very glad that she's being accepted by your grandma and is remarking how beautiful the silver bracelet is. Reine and Errol, what are you guys up to? Errol, you said you're investigating the book. I'll get back to you one sec. I'll tell you about your book. And then, Reine, what are you up to?
I was just gonna suggest the same. Maybe I would try to untie the strap at least and maybe find out what's inside the book.
All right. Reine looks in her book first. Reine, this is a handwritten log. It's from someone simply called the Chief. No other name. It's a logistics record written by a clan head. Food stores, perimeter patrol schedules, census counts. The numbers grow over time with notes and interpretation. This is a fantastic tutorial on how to lead a successful tribe.
Oh, that's very helpful. She'll probably be torn between reading that and spending time with her people, but at this point she's very, I want to lead the clan once it's fully rebuilt, so she'll probably be too excited not to read it, or too nosy not to read it.
Yeah. And Errol, you said you have looked at the Jumpunin?
Yes, I would have, after reading the title, I would have cracked the book open and seen what its contents were.
You're not sure why Kaling gave you this red book, Errol. It's kind of weird. You skim the pages. It's sort of like a bestiary about the red dragon Jumpunin. This red dragon Jumpunin can't die. She is a phoenix of sorts. They're actually cousins, Jumpunin and phoenixes. When she dies, her soul floats around like a butterfly. She finds a living vessel and gestates in there. Every time magic is cast by the vessel, She takes a bit. 1% here, 1% there. She banks it, and eventually she erupts. Bursting out from the vessel, unfortunately for the vessel's physical structure, but very fortunately for her, she is reborn. It's adorable how she starts out the size of a kitten, but after eating various baked goods and other things, she reaches her full size once again. That's Jumpin' In, the cousin of Phoenix's, the red dragon. The next page has information about the vessel.
Yeah, what happens to the vessel as Errol starts to sweat?
The book informs the reader that daily consumption of a rare, strong poison known as licorice can weaken the dragon's soul to keep it from erupting. But this is inadvisable, as too much licorice can stop the heart. It's better to imbibe the pure magical energy found in source water from the core of the earth before it touches air's energy, because air is a relative of fire. Because water energy is the opposite of a dragon's fire, the conflicting essences will drive Jumpin' In's soul out to quest for a better matching vessel. If performed before corporealization, this ritual can keep the vessel remaining intact, although damage to the surrounding environment may be severe.
Errol grabs a piece of licorice out of his case and begins chewing on it nervously. And he's going to find Kalamon, and he's going to say, Kalamon, you mentioned that my issue with fire that recently was brought to light might have something to do with a red dragon.
Yes. Do you remember when we first met, Errol? When I found you burned on the bank of a stream after the red dragon cult?
I do remember. I think you've told me about this before. And
like 15 times. I think I've said that like fully 10 times through the season.
I've heard it at least 4 times. I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember, Errol?
Yes, Kalamon, I remember.
Yes, I am worried that perhaps somehow the red dragon thing changed you, because ever since then, do you remember that one time that Ignatius tried to burn up a rhubarb plant and you got burned too? And then there was that time that Jack tried to do some kind of magical thing. I've dreamed all this. And you also got burned? Something with a flamethrower?
Yes, and I also remember fire being attracted to me when I was visiting the North Pole recently.
Yes, so I'm very worried because I put 2 and 2 together, you see.
Oh, this is alarming, but your mother gave me a book about how I can prevent something bad and terrible from happening to me.
Do you think she's my mother too?
The resemblance is remarkable. I would say she is at least tangentially related to you, if not your mother.
At this point, your birth mother, Dr. Laurel Ravenwood, and your mom are cackling.
Uh-oh.
They're laughing about baby Errol stories, and they're laughing really loud. And Kalamon looks at you like he's happy because laughter spill over, but he's sad because he never had a mom.
Does she look like mother age compared to him?
Yeah, she's in her 60s. He's in his 30s.
Checks out. I will approach Kaling, and I will say, "Oh, pardon me, Kaling. You met my friend Kalamon?"
Yes. Tell me, what's his mother's status? Does he have a mother already?
You know, I'm not entirely sure what happened to his mother, but you and him share the same last name, Doriel.
Yes, they found papers on me when I woke up that one time. So I knew what my name was, but nothing else.
So you don't remember if you had a child?
Well, I had this dream, and I've been telling Maury for years. Maury's my husband. I've been telling Maury for years. I'm pretty sure that my dreams are real, but most of the time they're just awkward.
Well, I think you should spend some time with Kalamon. You two seem to have a lot in common.
She gets a second plate of strawberry dessert because she feels awkward showing up without things. And she has a book, and she walks over to Kalamon and hands him a really thick black book and some strawberry pretzel dessert.
Is she trying to like check his visage book mother status?
She says to him, "So I think you're my son, and I'm pretty sure that You also can see stuff like me, and and she's like the most awkward person in the world. And Kaylamon just hugs her, and she drops the pretzel dessert.
Oh no.
And they just start crying. It's so awkward. Everybody's like, well, and like, they're just bawling.
I'll go ahead and applaud as if to lead all the people there like, hey, let's congratulate this reunification of what I assume is a family unit.
Maury's gonna love you. I gotta show you my cats.
I want to meet your cats. Invite me over for dinner sometime.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Reine like gets spooked by the clapping because she was so invested in the book. She's just like,
Reine, why is your family here?
that's a good question. After getting spooked by the clapping because she totally spaced out, she kind of like juggles the book a little, trying to catch it again. And then she's like, wait, like I said hi and everything, but she's confused. She'll go to her peeps and maybe her mom and dad first and be like, is everything like going all right with the adding the new houses and stuff at the village, or can you guys finally catch a break?
Oh yeah, your Cameron friend has been so helpful. He started growing like a farm, but when it rains, all the rainwater downstream is red. Your friend's kind of weird.
Yeah. She like shakes her head like as if her thoughts were like somewhere completely different for a moment. Yeah, right. So, but I mean, that doesn't really, leading a village is a lot of stuff. Yes, I mean, of course, you've been around it for like, I don't know how many years, but, right. So, is everything handled at the New Wolf Village, or, how are you guys here?
That's a really good question. And then, everyone, how far away are you from the cake?
I guess the wolves are a bit further away because of their noses.
Well, GM, I'm sitting at the table with my family, so I would ask you how far away I am from the cake, given the general position of tables vis-a-vis position of cake.
I'd say you guys are like Grandma D, Joy, Lothario, his parents and brother. You guys are at the short distance from the cake. Let's read off LURP distances. It's on page 5. LURPS does not use exact measurements of distances. Instead, most interactions are abstracted as immediate, which means like you can touch them, like real close. Short, which is like maybe spear length away, not punching distance, but spear distance. You can't touch the cake, but you could lean over and like you could push someone into the cake. Medium, which is you could take a step and reach the thing, you're not there yet, but like give me a turn and I can get there. Long is I can end my turn there. And then very far is out of combat. So if you guys want to write that down, immediate touching, short spear length. Medium could definitely get there this turn. Long could end your turn to get there. And very far. Ranges. How far are you guys from the cake?
For Errol, I would say that I'm medium because I'm back. I would have been headed towards Rowena and my mother.
Reine would probably be long, I think. Just so they don't get all the sugar in their noses.
Yeah, it smells so strongly of butter and sugar. And then, what were you, Lothario?
Oh, I would say short. And, that makes sense because my brother Burden, he's actually pretty exceptional at many things. But one thing he loves to do is eat. So if he saw a table closest to the cake, that's the one he would have chosen. So that's where we're sitting.
All right. Good to know, because initiative in LURPS is determined by distance. It goes Lothario short, Errol medium, Reine long. The 7-foot-tall cake explodes! Erupting from it are 3 people. First of 3 is a 6'2", late 20s, blonde, tan skin, orange-eyed woman wearing shoulder pauldrons and a bunch of belts. Reine, you recognize Sigrid. And 2 people you haven't met yet, A 30-ish-year-old scrawny, 5'1", 100-pound weakling with dark skin and brown eyes. Kalamon whispers quietly to himself, Finlow. And lastly, a 6'3", gruff, intimidating man with lots of scars. Kaling whispers to herself, Fowler. Yeah, they're related. All right. Sigrid is here. How we're going to do this is they got a surprise round on you. Oh, yeah, they did. So they're going to attack you. Lothario, you are, and your table is the closest. So Grandma D's going to get attacked, your mom and dad, your brother, you, and Joy. So we're going to roll for attacks now. What happens is that this blonde, tanned lady with a bunch of belts jumps out of a cake. She, cackles happily, like she knew this was happening. And she extends her hands, and at the tips of her fingers are claws. She swipes at your family members. I'm going to roll randomly. Grandma D, 1, your mom, 2, your dad, 3, your brother, 4, you, 5, and Joy, 6.
That's convenient that there are 6 of us at this table.
A 4, a 3, and a 1. The way that attacking in LURPS works is that they have a mat, a rat, and a sat, which is kind of fun. Melee, 5 dice for melee. Holy cow. Claws are a light weapon. Only one of these 5 dice that I'm rolling has to be a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed. And I only need 1 success for these claws to hit. I only rolled 1 success, so I didn't crit. But I do hit, and I do 2d6 slashing damage. That is 8 damage to somebody. Lothario, just note that. You tell me. I'm going to ask you to describe how this looks. Then Finlow attacks. Again with a mat of 5. Oof. Now, Finlow, actually, these two are just humans. They're just punching. This is a critical, so that means that this punch does the full 3 crushing damage to somebody. Finlow's not as strong as Sigrid. And lastly, another punch, another critical, a full 3 crushing damage from Fowler. Lothario, you can describe what happened, please. Somebody got slashed hard, somebody got punched, and someone got punched.
Okay. So here's what happens. First of all, cake is intact, right? And then all of a sudden, cake is everywhere. And my cloak is ruined because that is so hard to clean and that frosting is so thick. And luckily, I would have preferred to be on my armor, frankly. But the way you described it is there are 3 people coming out and there are 3 attacks and there are 3 people that get attacked. And you listed Grandma D, my dad, Luke, and my brother, Burton. So, the first attack, that slash with the claws, that was my brother, Burton. He got that because he's the closest to the cake. Remember, he loves to eat. So, boom, he gets hit. And thankfully, he has a hardy constitution, and he's very muscular. So, I don't think he's going to, he'll be irritated more than anything. However, the next 2 hits, the next one hits my dad, and he gets crushed, and he doesn't see it coming at all. He's more of a musician. He's not really a fighter, per se. And then the 3rd attack is going for Grandma D, but my dad is constantly trying to prove himself to his mother-in-law. So he tries, even though he's hit, he dives to try and absorb the hit that's going for Grandma D, and he gets hit. So my father gets hit twice, my brother gets hit once, and Grandma D is nonplussed, I say, about what's happening. One, there is a mess. There was a cake that we were gonna enjoy. I'm surprised that Chico is not in the cake after all, but someone was in the cake, so I was like half right. But yeah, so that's who gets hit, and my reactions, I immediately jump up and draw my sword, ready to go. Free action, I'm gonna speak to them and say, how dare you interrupt this beautiful, I knew this was too good to be true. And so I am furious. Next, I'm going to make an attack. That is a standard action. And I'm going to be using my sword. As it turns out, my sword is a lot like the description that Errol had about his sword. So I'm going to go let me see. My brother can take care of himself. He's fine. But the one that went after Grandma D, so that was the third attacker, I'm going to go after that person first with my honed Thunderbolt Steel Rainbow Rapier. And so I'm going to roll, pardon me, let's see how many.
Are you wielding the power of friendship?
Well, always, yes ma'am. But as a corollary to the power of friendship, I do have this pokey bit of metal that I'm about to stick somebody with. So I got a level 3.
Or like for your family, I guess.
Yeah, you know. So I got a level 3 on piercing weapons. So I rolled one. Hold on, is that right?
Piercing weapons, you do have a 3. Well, you know,
that's...
crossbows and bolts, bard attacks, you have a 5. You want to do that instead?
You know what? That's right. Okay. So, listeners, the way my bow attacks work is I have transformed them. I flavor them in a way that is my insults or music. Now, I don't have time to bring out an instrument and start playing with these fools, so I'm just going to go ahead and insult the one that attacked Grandma D. Here we go. So, mechanically speaking, it's like a bow attack, a short bow / crossbow. And that is, I have a level 5 in that, so I roll 5d6. And I need at least 3 successes for a hit just because it is a medium weapon. I got 4 successes, so I do hit. The way it works, since it's like a flaming short bow, I get 2d6 damage from the bow attack, plus another d6 from the flame attack. So I rolled a 5/5 for the regular base damage, -2, so 8. And then I add a 1 for that burning, like in this case, psychologically. But yes, so 9 damage overall to the person, I don't know if it's Finla or Thaula, that attacked Grandma D. Third attack.
It is Fowler. 9 damage. What does that look like as an insult?
I say to this person, you're not the dumbest person on the planet, but you sure better hope he don't die.
And it literally burns.
Psychologically, he's like, am I dumb? And he's all a mess.
He takes 9 damage. To let you guys know mechanically, that hurt. He is down quite a lot of hit points. The man, he's 6'3", 200 pounds, kind of muscly, lots of scars, leather skin, hunter's clothes. He turns to you, Lothario, and focuses on you.
That's fine. I draw my sword dramatically, and I point it up to the sky, so anime style, there's that little glint at the tip, like whooshing, like that. And so he knows we're about to get on with it.
Nice. Errol, you're at medium distance. What do you do?
First of all, I would, seeing what happened to, almost happened to Grandma D, I would quickly and swiftly look at my Ma, Rowena, and say, Ma, I know you're good in a scrape. Get my other parents out of here, please, before something bad happens. And then I would like to attempt to try and sneak up on one of these individuals if they don't have their attention focused on me.
Yeah, sneaking is in the rules. Are you looking at the same page I am?
Well, I have stealth and disguise, a 5 in stealth and disguise, but there's also sneak attack, so I don't know. I'm guessing I would need a stealth as an action, and that might set me up, but that's probably going to be my action. I'm not sure. But I can roll stealth right now.
Yeah, let's have you roll stealth right now. Stealth and disguise. You react to a situation. It says it's react, so I'm going to give you stealth as a react because of the wording on page 30. Go ahead and roll your stealth and tell me how many successes you get.
All right, I also have skill focus as a feat for stealth and disguise, which makes my base difficulty 2.
Nice. That means instead of a 4, a 5, and a 6 succeeding, everything other than a 1 succeeds for you.
I got 5 successes, 5, 5, 5, 4, and a 3.
Suddenly, Errol's gone. How did you sneak? Describe what that looked like.
Are there, do we have like pews or bleach or tables and chairs set up in this area?
Yeah, picnic tables.
Because I am short, my first instinct would be to get behind some furniture and sneak around as best I can to get behind them.
Errol's going to stab you with his rapier from under the picnic table. I love it. All right. Now, that's a success on the sneaking. And because there's so many picnic tables, personally, I'm just going to hand wave all your other stealth rolls because of the abundance of picnic tables. Everything other than a 1 succeeds. You're going to succeed every time. So that was your roll for this combat, for this environment. If you move away from the picnic tables, you'll have to re-roll stealth again. But for now, yeah, all of your attacks are a success on stealth. Page 35, sneak attack. An attack made against an unaware enemy, which has a DC -3 to hit. You may perform a sneak attack and backstab at the same time if you meet both criteria. Yeah.
So I would like to attempt that.
Okay. This attack that you're about to make from sneak attack is going to be at DC -3 to hit. Okay, so that's what you get from sneak attack. Now, I'm looking at the backstab mechanics. These are super cool. So you've got to spend SPE to do this, right?
Yes, I believe so. I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, so spend 1 SPE.
Okay, 1 SP.
When you spend SPE, you activate backstab. From backstab, for every 6 that you roll on your to hit, you get an additional +2 damage.
Okay, so here's my other question. Who's the most likely target I can hit from here?
You were in medium, so you can move to any of these targets. You can move to Sigrid, Finlow, or Fowler.
Okay, so I will go for Fowler. I'm hoping Reine will take Sigrid. And since Lothario has already done some hurting to Finlow, right?
Get that flipped. So he attacked the big, muscly, the leader of the hunters. So you're going to attack the 5'1", 97-pound weakling.
Yes, that's the one I'll try.
You take this guy out. I love it. For every 6 that you hit, it's an extra +2 damage on a successful backstab.
Yeah, it's actually +4 because I have a rapier. It does the same thing if it stacks.
Yes, it stacks. And you're at -3 DC to hit. So that means, what was your normal DC to hit? Was it 4?
Yeah, that's the base.
Yeah. Okay, so -3 is now your everything that's not a 1 will hit. It will be a success. How many dice are you rolling for your piercing?
I got 6 for my stat. I could spend more to add more, but I don't think I need it against this guy. So I'm going to save it for somebody else, maybe.
With your rapier, how many do you need to succeed to hit? It's, a medium weapon, so you need 3 of these to hit to succeed.
Yes, and I got 4. I got a 3, 3, 3, and a 2, which anything above a 1.
Because that was not a critical hit, you don't take max damage. You just, for every 6 you roll, you get an additional +2 damage for both the rapier and for the backstab. Your damage is 2d6, right? Do you deal extra damage because of anything?
I get a extra d6 because my weapon is icy.
Nice.
And then a +2 because it's well balanced.
Nice. All right. So roll your 3d6.
I got 9 +2 is 11. And that +2 is from the well balanced.
Nice. Okay, that is 11 damage to Finlow. He's 5'1". He is weak. He seems less motivated to kill you guys than the other 2. Describe what happened. That was more than half his HP. Describe what happened.
I'm kneeled underneath the table, and the moment he walks by, I just jab him right in like the leg, the calf muscle. Skewer him.
And then you hide, and he's like, where did that come from? And his leg's like seriously injured. And that was most of his HP. He doesn't know what hit him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's treating you as a dangerous environment, and he's not afraid. He's going to keep pressing on, but slowly because of the lack of leg.
The leg kebab.
That was Errol's turn. Reine, you're at long distance. You could probably move and get there this turn, but that's like if you ran, that's about it. That's all you can do.
I have a question for flavor.
Yeah.
Is Foxmeat there? Like an NPC from the last episode. Foxmeat is a strange coyote that's very hungry. And Reine basically adopted him last episode.
Oh, if he was with you, yeah. If he was with you, you brought him with you. Yeah. Like it was a Chico Barrett thing where the coyote was in your backpack?
It was actually Chico's. Chico picked it up,
Yeah.
but
yeah, if it's in your backpack this whole time, yeah, it's there. Yeah.
you probably have him like around her neck or something, just asking if he can eat anything that he sees.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're gonna have Reine just runs over, but I can make it interesting still because her transformation is a little bit different since last episode when Foxmeat is there. While she transforms into her like usual bipedal horned werewolf form, Foxmeat kind of like jumps into her transformation.
Yeah. Is this Voltron the werewolf thing?
Almost. Maybe a bit more Eldritch Abomination, because out comes like a four-eyed, four-eared, vulpine wolf-like creature with 6 legs. And that is now charging towards the party poppers. Because they pop out of a cake. Funny joke.
So I'm gonna say to my family, like, I mean, please don't take this personally. That's horrifying. But I'm gonna warn my family. It's like, hey, that's cool. Don't worry about just these 3 are bad. Everybody else is fine.
That's not cool, but it's cool. We're cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it just takes some getting used to. That's all. Just give me some time.
Oh, true. The thing has 2 jaws. That was the coolest part.
And you don't think my mama Penelope is gonna warm up to them right away? Like they just got attacked by some evildoers in a cake, and then this, no offense, this comes charging their way.
You arrive on the scene. All of you. All of the parts. They're there. And now it's back to Sigurd's turn. Sigurd looks at you and she is like, girl, you need to glow up. Like just is on her face. Like, oh no.
Girl, this is my glow up. The fuck?
Yeah. Oh, and so she has a speech that you have not unlocked yet. So she just attacks you. She rolls to hit you with her claws. It is amazing, rolling 5 dice and literally only one of these have to succeed. Still not a critical on her. Oh my gosh. She only slashes you for 10 damage Reine with her claws. And she's like, girl, you ugly. Finlow only has a little tiny bit of HP. He's 5'1". He's here to keep tabs on Sigrid as per Fowler's order. But he does not enjoy this. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna hunt you guys. Village of the Wolves. Yeah, and he sounds so into it. He is not into it. So he rolls to hit you guys. He also has a mat of 5. He criticals, because you just need 2 successes to do that, and deals the full D3 of punching damage to, let's see, who's around? Lothario. Finlow and Fowler are both going to punch you again, the full D3 damage. Lothario, you took 6 punches. 6 from punches, 2 punches, 6 damage from punches.
6 damage from 2 punches.
Yeah, 6 damage and 2 punches as the scarred buff guy who's like,
you're just a human. I don't want your parts. Just leave. You're just a casualty on this. You weren't our target. Just leave. Just take your family and go.
Now it's Lothario's turn. How do you react to him saying that and punching you?
So first of all, I need to verify what my armor situation is and if that affects punches.
Yeah, let me look at your armor. Does it affect crushing damage?
It's a mithril scale mail, so it's DC 3 is what it reports.
Okay. The first number is the number of dice you roll. The second number is the DC. Armor is scale, which means it is effective against slashing damage. Mithril is the DC of 3.
I'm pretty sure the first number is how many points worth of armor you bought.
How many points of armor did you buy?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say 1 point because you don't know. You got 1 point, so you roll 1 dice. That's your first number. I think Errol's player is right. So
Okay.
roll 1 dice. Your DC is 3. And if this was slashing, you would succeed auto pass. But this is not slashing, this is crushing.
Okay.
So you have to roll for it. That's how armor works in LURPS. So roll 1 dice, DC of 3. Tell me if it's a success or a fail.
I got a 5.
That's a success. So you reduce the damage by 1.
Is that for one attack? Or do I need to roll again for the second attack?
Remove 1 from each hit. The punches only hit you for 2 damage each. You only take 4 damage instead of 6.
I will take it. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm gonna stab somebody with my sword.
Your sword is not a super effective weapon, remember, because of the
Aha.
3.
Correct, but you
Rolling.
did mention I could use SPE to
Yeah.
add dice to it and compound my ability to succeed. So I may do that. But I also want to mention that my brother Burden, although he is only 16, he is a championship wrestler / grappler. So I don't know. I'm going to direct him to incapacitate somebody, just kind of pin him down if he can. But I'll leave the rolling to you, if that's all right. Like, my dad is not good in the fight. Grandma D will just give a stern look. But my brother, he number one, the cake got destroyed, so he's upset. But number 2, he's going to grapple somebody, and he is always looking to grapple people. So my brother's going to take, is it Finlow, the 5'3" gentleman, the shorter gentleman, the non-muscular one?
Yeah, he's so short. He's 5'1". Everyone listening to this who's 5'1" is like, yeah, I guess I am kind of short, but I hate you for saying that.
My brother's going to jump on him. That is his preferred target. Because I'm already attacking Mr. Muscular over here. And so I'm going to roll for my my sword. And so it's D3, but I'm going to add, I'll say 2 dice with my SPE.
Right, you're spending 3 SPE to get 2 extra combat dice.
That is correct.
You have to use one of the SPE attacks to be able to do that. Remember?
Oh, right.
Backstabbing.
Well, he's facing me, so I don't think I'm going to be able to backstab him.
Do you remember the SPE special moves? They
I do.
are backstabbing, bull rushing, charging, cleaving, and disarming.
Does he have a weapon on his claws?
He's punching people. Finlow's just
Punch
punching people.
I can't disarm him then. I'm going to go for a cleave, and I'm going to try to cleave him.
Any non-piercing attack can make a cleaving attack.
Oh, man, rapier is a piercing weapon. Okay, so bull
Well, you know,
rush.
you could still disarm him with a cleave. Just, you know.
Okay, I'm going to stab his right hand. Is that a disarming move, would you say? Like literally disarming?
It decreases the amount of melee damage done, so I'm not sure if you want to do this. Why don't you bull rush? You charge forward, converting your momentum into a powerful shove. You make a melee weapon skill check against the opponent. If you're bigger than them, you get -1 to your roll. You are bigger than this person. You deal half your melee damage on a successful attempt and shove the entity out of the way or into an immediate obstacle such as a wall or a cake.
You know, that sounds like exactly what I would want to do, because if he's on top of my dad, I'm going to push him out of the way, because I don't want him on my family. The way this looks is I got my sword out and I go, ah, you know, like terrifying scream. And I'm running at him with my sword and I'm pushing him, but with my sword tucked. So the part is sticking toward him while I'm pushing. So that's what's happening. And so what I will end up getting is 5 dice to roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I got some extra dice. So I got 3 successes.
Good.
They're all 6s. 1, 6, 6, 6, 3. And on top of that, because my sword is made of thunderbolt steel, it says for every 6 rolled on the damage... Oh, that's a damage dice.
So now let's roll your damage.
Darn.
How
All
much
right,
damage
let's roll.
dice are you rolling? Remember that it's
believe-
halved because of your bull rush. But you do get to shove them.
I think everybody needs a good shove now and then to kind of remember what the reality is. So it's 2d6. 1 is a 6. 1 is a 4. Because 1 is a 6 and it's thunderbolt steel, I get an additional 1d3 added to the damage.
Yeah, roll a d6 and divide by 2.
Oh, that's an easy way to do it. I got a 5.
Great. 3 extra damage. So it was a 6 plus a 4 plus a 3.
Correct.
13 damage. Now you're going to round down because this is a bull rush and you're using half that damage to shove them flying. So I'm going to tell you they only had 4 hit points left. So you can describe what happens as you Team Rocket blasting away this enemy.
Okay. I will. This will forever be known as the shove of justice. And so I will shove him off my father in such a way. And mechanically, it's like I get the angles just right. And you got to go low because the lower you are, the more, the better your leverage. And so, pa-pow, he goes airborne into the cake and he is passed out because I'm not going to do, I don't think, a lethal shove. But he is embarrassed because not only he just got cake all over his face, all over his body, and he's out. And I have a smug grin on my face after I take care of that. But then I kind of fling some of the cake off my cape, and then I turn for my next opponent.
Nice. Good job, Lothario. Errol, you're up next. What do? Only Sigrid is left. Finlow is being grappled by the brother. Fowler has been flung into a cake. And you are hidden under a picnic table.
Yes.
Do I think I'd be able to hit Sigrid from this distance? How far away is she?
You are at medium distance. You can move and hit anybody. Distance is very simple in this game. If you're at medium distance, you can move, you can hit.
And as far as appearance, is she looking like... Does she look like she's taken any damage? I don't recall if she got hit by anybody.
She hasn't been hit yet. All she's done is really messed up Reine, although Reine looks pretty messed up for other reasons.
In that case, I will do my best to maneuver in stealth to try and attempt a backstab against her as well.
Yeah, you are successfully hidden.
It's like you guys have never seen an Eldritch Abomination before. Dreadful.
I'm beautiful. One mouth
This
says.
is my glow up. You don't even know. I'm so pretty.
Yeah, you are successfully hidden. All eyes are on Reine. I mean, if there was such a thing as the help action for distraction, it would be the 2-mouthed, 6-legged werewolf. 8 or 7?
Really weird.
Errol sees her and says, "Yes, queen."
That was the favorite.
I will attempt to sneak up on Sigrid and attempt to backstab. Do you need another stealth roll?
No, your stealth's pass as long as you're in picnic tables, halfling.
Okay. All right, so 1 SPE for a backstab.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go ahead and, because Sigrid is Sigrid, I'm going to pump 3 more points of SPE to get 2 extra dice.
Nice. And you are more likely to critical when you roll more dice. And remember, your hit is a DC -3 because of that sneak attack, so everything that's not a 1 will hit. So you're pretty likely to get a critical roll this time.
All right, so total I'm rolling 8 dice because I got 6 base and I'm adding 2.
Yeah.
That was really satisfying.
Because Sigrid is a very good rule of thumb.
Well, I know y'all's history, and I know that you haven't always came out on top with her.
Absolutely not.
I got 7 successes, but 2 of them were 6s.
Nice. So that means that you deal an extra 4 damage, 2 from being a rapier and 2 from backstabbing on each 6 that you roll.
Okay, I had 2 6s.
Yes.
If I roll 6s, I can re-roll other dice, but do they have to be non-successes to re-roll them?
They just can't be 1s.
Okay, so I can re-roll a 4 and a 2, and I might get another 6.
Gambling. Yes, you should. You should.
Okay, I re-rolled the 2, and I got a 6 and a 3, so 3 total 6s. So that'd be 4 times 3 is 12.
Holy cow.
And I haven't rolled the actual damage dice yet.
Right.
So total, I got 27 damage.
That sounds more like it. That's why Sigrid has 80 hit points. I was like, they're gonna die. I'm very worried. Oh no. All right, so 80 minus what was it?
27.
That is much more like it. 53 left. So go ahead and describe what that looks like, Picnic Halfling.
I think seeing her distracted by this rain wolf monstrosity, I will take it upon myself to run and like leaping jab into her back with the rapier. And I know that probably exposes me, but if it gives her an opening to try and do something to Sigrid, that's okay. But it's all right.
You can hide again.
Stabbing would open up someone's attention anyway. So
Yeah. So you stab her. It's the unseen halfling you didn't expect. You didn't see this halfling coming. And she screams from the stab, right? And you know that this hit alone would have taken out Finlow or Fowler. Like, you know that, like, this was a strong hit. And yet Sigurd's still standing.
After I let go of the rapier, I'll say, you know, from all the stories I heard of you, I thought you would be far more fashionable.
Wow. Her belts are jingling. She really thinks of herself as a fashionable person. And she's like, someone get this halfling off me. And she shakes. She's kind of werewolfing out as she shakes, her fur growing from her skin. You know, she doesn't become what Reine is.
Weird.
But she does become an antlered werewolf, basically bipedal wolf form. Her claws had been sharp before, and they're even sharper now. She flings a picnic table away from her with one arm to demonstrate her new improved strength. You squeak and hide under a different picnic table. You can do another hide check. You pass. Everything above a 1 passes, and you're rolling like 6 dice or something. But that's just to describe the scene, what happens. One of the picnic tables goes flying through the air and lands, like, you know, nearly hitting Lothario's family who's fleeing. Grandma D is missed by the picnic table, don't worry. And Sigurd says to Reine, "We're from the same clan, Reine. We grew up together. Blood is an unbreakable bond, is it not? Shake your head and look at the red glitter that falls, Reine, Errol, Caelimon, Lothario. That's glitter. Just like blood, you can't get rid of glitter either. It stays with you forever, always a little bit more of it hiding somewhere. That particular glitter is a blood-based collecting spell. I made it. Here in this clearing, and anyone I sprinkle it on will surely come here, along with their relatives, starting with the closest related ones first, and then pulling in more and more distant relatives. All I had to do was visit your stupid little fire-breathing kittens guild hall and wait for you to sit at one of those rinky-dink wooden tables, eating with your stupid friends. You didn't even see me on the balcony above. Just sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. On your head as you sat there, oblivious. You don't deserve to be called my relative, Reine. Not me, Sigrid, the greatest hunter. I don't even need these 2 idiots." And she points to the, one is being wrestled by Lothario's brother and the other one is unconscious on a cake. "I don't even need these 2 idiots. I am the greatest hunter, and I will cut off all of your horns and sell them to the highest bidder."
Lothario's gonna look down at his trumpet and hopes that she does not cut it, 'cause I treasure it. It is a horn. She's gonna cut off horns. See what I'm saying? So
Just a blank face looking at you like, what? And then
I feel physical pain.
Reine, it's your turn.
Hell yeah. Considering it's technically still her werewolf form and way, I'm just gonna say she can talk in this one. Also, I don't know what happened. For real. Also, I don't know what happened after the fateful bite of 247 last episode, because she passed out, so she doesn't really know what happened. But whatever it was, she can still speak in this form. And where she normally would have probably ran before, and shivered and been scared, she's now like gonna get this 6-legged wolf fox bipedal and be like uncharacteristically almost calm and just be like, "Well, that just sounds like plain jealousy, doesn't it?" You know what's really cool about having 6 legs? Before, when they were wrestling, they always just kind of like locked claws and kind of had to wrestle. Mm-hmm. Guess who now can do that and still has 2 free hands to swipe her face? this eldritch abomination. So Reine is bipedal now. And she will like shift her way like forward and just kind of like do their, at this point, almost traditional grappling. But since she still has 2 free paws with a bunch of claws, Sigrid has a bunch of belts, Reine now has a bunch of limbs, and she will swipe at her. Not lethally, I'd say, like, not really super going for any vital parts like the neck, but definitely being like I am stronger than you now. Go away.
Yeah, let's see that attack. What's your skill in your unarmed and grappling?
That is a 4, so I will now be rolling 4 dice.
Unless you spend some SPE, then you got extra dice. But I don't think you need to because your claws only need 1 success to hit, right?
Yeah.
You'll do a
lightweight.
critical if you get 2 6s. So if you want to spend 1 SPE to get 1 bonus combat action dice, you can. SPE fully regenerates within 5 minutes after a combat.
Well, I mean, this doesn't sound so bad. It's a 6. That's 2 6s.
That's 2 6s! All right. So because you got 2 6s, you do your full amount of damage, is what it says.
Oh boy!
What is it with the Rooskald racial bonus? Something about claws?
It just upgrades the D3 to D6.
D6, yeah.
D3.
So your Rooskald, your claws aren't a D3, they're a D6 because you have better claws.
Exactly. Your unarmed strikes deal 1d6 crushing or slashing damage, in this case slashing damage. Whichever is more effective. I'll just say slashing because it makes more sense. Because they're claws.
Yeah. And we
right.
leveled up your claws a little bit. Do you remember the metal properties that we mechanically gave your claws?
Yeah, for one, we have the cold iron, which is going to get interesting when we have the damage already. And we have the Thunderbolt Steel, which is interesting now, because that says for every 6 rolled on the damage dice, 1 additional 1d3 is added to the damage.
Nice. And you're two-handing, right? So it says dual wielding. You have to roll to hit in 2 separate to hit rolls. So go ahead and roll your second to hit roll. And both have to hit for you to land either.
Well, that's 4 successes, but no 6s.
Okay, so 1 claw criticals and the other claw hits, which means both do hit. And you have Cold Iron, which deals triple the damage rolled, and Thunderbolt Steel for every 6 rolled on the damage dice, 1 additional 1d3 is added to the damage. So let's roll your damage dice. It's 1 unarmed strike, deal 1d6 because of your Rooskald race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so roll for your first hand. It's mechanically a 6 because it criticaled, but let's just see.
That's a 1.
Okay. So it doesn't get the extra D3 from being a 6, but it mechanically was a 6 because of the critical. You're going to triple that, but we're not there yet. Your second hand, go ahead and roll your D6.
That's a 4.
Okay, so you're at 10. So go ahead and triple that because of your cold iron mechanically.
So we're at a 30.
30 damage. Okay, so you guys see how that was calculated?
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
The LURPS is a little complicated, but it's rewarding. Yeah. All right, so 30 damage means that Sigrid drops from 53 to 23 and is like, "You monster!"
Thank you. I love my son. Fox me.
Your clan is looking at you. And now, you're not the leader of a clan of under picnic table halflings. You're not the leader of a clan of bards singing and eating cake. You're the leader of a clan of werewolves. Chat loops. They love your monster form. And they're like, Sigrid, I'm sorry, Reine.
They're like, no,
That
wait
would
a
have been
second.
really embarrassing.
When it's easier to chat.
It's been a while.
Okay. No, okay, all right.
It's been
They're
like 5 years.
Rain. Sorry. Anyway. And your whole clan is chanting, Rain.
She's not the leader of a bunch of intellectuals. She's the leader of a bunch of werewolves.
No, she's not. Math is hard. Okay. So now it is back to Sigurd's turn, but she looks around at all of the clan members who they love violence. They're all werewolfing out now too, and they're running in from. They love they're like, yes, let's rip stuff up, you know. They're coming in, and Sigurd looks around at how, oh, actually, she's at a fraction of her health, you know, and she is surrounded by a bunch of werewolves, and you just tore a chunk out of her, you know. So she's like, oh, mistakes were made. The realization of, I'm not going to win this, but I am the greatest hunter in the world. It's on her face. You can talk before her turn.
She would be a very good asset for the clan, but she already betrayed it once.
Do you see this ending with her working for you, dead, or ostracized?
Actually, neither. I think Reine would like to win this fight and then kind of send her on a journey of self-discovery to see how she can use her strength in better ways. And send Finlow along, because having someone who maybe doesn't really want to hunt and fight all the time is probably a good idea.
Okay, so then I'll have Finlow go first. Finlow's currently being pinned by Lothario's brother, Burden. And Lothario's brother, Burden, is aptly named. He was originally just named because Grandma D was being persnickety and doesn't really like Burden's dad. Doesn't think he's good enough for her daughter. But it's also just accurate. It is an accurate name. As this heavy human weighs upon this 5'1" weakling, he's trying. You know, he's got some leather armor and crossbow and bolts and stuff. But let me just tell you what's going on in Finlow's mind right now. Finlow is if I don't help the Amberfang, if I don't continue to support them, if I leave, they'll kill me. There's so much wrong that I've done that I can't change, or else I'll be in danger myself, you know. But now he's I've reached the end of the line. I'm at a point where all of my misdeeds are catching up to me. I have a literal burden on me from everything that I've done. And he taps on the ground. He goes tap, 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 tap. Burden's been trained in wrestling and understands what the tapping means, and gets off. And Finlow lays on the ground and doesn't move at first. He's like, oh God, you're heavy. And then he looks up at Sigurd. He's like, really? And Sigurd looks down at the guy that's been following her for a year now, tagging along, making sure that she's hunting well, you know, but also kind of whispering Jiminy Cricket conscience words at her every now and then. And he just looks at her exasperated, you brought me here, you did this to me. This was your cake plan. This was your cake plan. And she looks down at Finlow and she's like, the look on her face expresses such deep regret. She had no idea how overwhelmed she was. And her desire to help Finlow, because, Fowler's out, right? So she says to you, Reine, she goes, I don't want to be in the Amberfang anymore and hunt you guys. I've known it ever since you beat me in the wrestling ring.
That was a pretty good fight. Well,
yeah, I cut off your horns and I disbanded the clan and I ruined everyone's day. But violence was something that we were always raised to treasure. Violence is great, you know. I thought the clan would be proud of me for taking their horns.
Well, not really. You know, the thing about violence is, you have to have a goal. It's basically like any weapon. You yourself are the weapon, and if you wield that weapon or yourself in a way that needlessly harms others, not in a way how we wrestle or how the other species of this planet wrestle for fun, but to actively harm others, especially if they've done no wrong, that's not really something to be proud of. It's like you're kicking a smaller weaker foe. That's not really prideful. So with everything that's happened, I don't think I can just welcome you back into the clan. But if you really do want to leave the Emberfang and if you do want to change, I've learned a lot of being with the fire-breathing kittens and traveling with Patiano, and I've been able to use my strength in ways that I'm proud of and that other people are thankful for. So if you want to maybe take your buddy who was the first one to ever make you stop punching me, and take your Jiminy Cricket and you guys join an adventurer guild or just travel the country and get by helping people or working farm jobs or whatever, and just learning about gratitude and how to wield your fun violence in ways that are fun and good. Perhaps in like a few years you can come back to the foot of the mountain where we are now and just, you probably won't want to stay because at least not forever, because after traveling this much, it's already going to be very hard for me to stay because there's a lot of opportunities for violence out there, and a lot of them are very fun, including punching your childhood friend with a mustard bottle. So yeah, also like her two jaws kind of like move in like a very unsettling way while she's talking.
Errol, I'm willing to use a flaw for this. I have the flaw nosy. You can't
Yes,
help it.
Errol?
You can't help but pry into other people's business.
Yes.
But I'd like to try and use fast talk, and I will say to Sigrid, I bet it would go a long way if you willingly removed your horns to show Reine that you are serious about changing.
Oh.
Activating a flaw. All right. Activating a flaw is... Can you read the mechanics for that? I think it is that it makes your roll harder, but if you succeed, you get inspiration or something like that. Invoke a flaw to gain inspiration.
A player may declare to activate a flaw in exchange for inspiration if they believe the situation requires it. Spend your inspiration to make the check. Oh, that's how you use the inspiration. It just says that the player describes how it makes the situation worse in a measurable way.
Okay, so you're nosy. And Sigrid was like following along with this. She was like, yeah, I need to help people. And then she looks at you, a person she might need to help, and she feels no desire to help you, Errol. And she's like, no, I don't need to help people. People kind of smell bad, like human-y, He smells like a halfling. It's like the smell of thick hair. And why does he smell burned? I don't want to help him. You're making this a lot harder on yourself. I'm going to increase your DC by 1.
All right.
All right, go ahead and roll.
All right.
So how many dice do you have for this trait? What is the trait?
Bluff and fast talk, 4, and I rolled a 6, and a 5, and a 2. But I can re-roll that 2 because I got 2 6s, right?
Yes. Reroll that.
And it's not good.
Okay, so that is 3 successes because it took a 5 to succeed because you increased your DC by 1. And bluff and fast talk, a 3 is pretty good. A 3 is quite good. Like, you can say something that the target probably already believed or want to believe. You can convince them of something that's not true, and you can distract them. So you can do everything short of convincing them you are someone you're not, because that would have taken 4 successes. And what do you say to her?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make her think that if she removes her horns, that...
the horns. Oh, she loves her horns. She looks at you with a burning hatred in her orange eyes, and she gets her claws, right? And she reaches up towards her head slowly, and then she looks at Reine, a monstrosity, and the villagers who are cheering, Reine, Reine, Reine. And she's like, why did I want to be the strongest of you all anyway? Why are you cheering for her? Look at her. She's a monster.
Thank you.
And she's like, none of you appreciate what I did. None of you were impressed in the way that I wanted to impress you. You should be making me your chief, not this. And she like just hand gestures all of this, which is the Reine.
The rain.
Just that. And
Nikamui now has its own Mothman.
but then Finlow catches her eye too. And Finlow's looking at her with a, come on, like, old traveling companion. We've been together for a year. Your cake plan didn't work, but we're going to get through this, you know? And he just says to her, he's like, Sigrid, settle this deal with your family so you can move on. Come on. It's time for you to move on. And so Sigrid looks at you and she's like, I did cut off your horns. It's fair you would want mine. And that hand that had been hesitating near her horn swipes and the antlers fall to the ground. And the dehorned Sigrid looks at them a little sadly and is like, we good?
They'll grow back stronger, don't worry.
All right, have a good party, whatever. And she picks up Finlow, throws him over her shoulder like a sack of flour. He's so used to
Hey,
this.
can we get a new cake?
Screw your cake! And she double fist middle fingers you as she walks out.
That's the secret I know. And Reine, like, half of Reine's legs are kind of like inching towards like the rest of the squishies of the cake that are still on the table, and she's like, no, fox meat. I know you want to eat it. I feel that you're hungry. And we can wait for a little bit.
Yeah, Sigurd leaves. Fowler is laying unconscious across the cake because I got thrown there. Finlow's out like a sack of potatoes over Sigurd's shoulder, and all of your clanspeople have run up, and they were going, rain, 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 and they raise you to their shoulders. It's like mosh pit surfing. You can't choose your direction. You point that way towards the cake. One of your hands does.
Absolutely.
And the mosh pit moves you over towards the cake.
Oh, wonderful. That's great.
Well, I want to reassure I fist bumped my brother, because he really pitched in quite well. And then I check on everybody, make sure everybody's okay. And then I reassure them that Reine is not a threat. And I do want to say, I heard the word monstrosity thrown around and abomination, and I like Reine. So I'm going to come up with a different descriptor for this form of Reine that is not as negative, in my opinion. I mean, she likes the word monster. Hey, to each their own. But I think I will try to call her something different.
Many-jawed.
Rain.
Maybe like hard rain, you know, like not just rain, but it's like, oh, that's hard rain.
More rain.
Watch out.
Guys, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but I think I have a potentially life-endangering situation on my hands.
And as you guys talk about that, we're going to sign off for part 1. Life-threatening situations will await you in part 2.
Yay.
Joining us for part 1 were Reine,
Rain, 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 rain.
Lothario,
I'm still trying to shake the cake off of my cape. Thank goodness I had my cape on, though.
and Errol.
Caelimon, why didn't you bring a backup cake? You knew this would happen.
I did. Here it is. A second 7-foot-tall cake emerges from within Caelimon's bag of cake. It's a bag of holding, but just for cake.
Fox meat, no.
And a review?
Oh, correct. Yes, we have a 5-star review from the user Aurora Borealis. Barbara is a bitchin' new character. Really enjoying this season's episodes, although the show could use more princesses. If you like our show, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and perhaps you'll hear it read on our episodes.
Bye!
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, I want to give a massive thanks to my best friend Maria. Your friendship is a constant source of strength, and I'm grateful for your unwavering support. You rock. End quote. Arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. We also have books and audiobooks on Amazon and Audible. Share Fire Breathing Kittens podcast with someone you know. Thanks. Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens, a LURPS actual play podcast for this episode. And I'm going to get this giant marker and roll a 6-sided dice and write down a number. Last time, what happened? There's a number, writing it down. Okay, just so that you guys know this is fair, I'm holding up this piece of paper with a number written on it. What are your all numbers?
4.
I got a 3.
I got a 5.
I got a package for whoever's the closest to...
Oh, it's
6.
6.
It's a me, Reine. All right. Considering all of this grew on Sigrid's shenanigans, it makes sense. All right, so we found ourselves in a clearing with a very pungent, very tall cake in the middle. And for some reason, it was Reine, Errol, and Lothario, and a lot of their blood relatives. We later found out that the reason for that is because Sigrid basically used a homing spell or something of the sort to attract everyone's blood relatives. So it was just a nice, really, really big family gathering. Everyone had a good time. Families were found. Some familial relations were cleared. And just as... Oh yes, we also received some books with very helpful insides. Which also has presented Errol with a rather grim realization that he will probably want to address now. But before we could even cut into the cake, Sigrid Fowler, the leader of the Emberfang, which is this hunting guild, and Finlow, who's basically been babysitting Sigrid to and like report to Fowler, burst out of the cake and started punching mostly Lothario's family members. And then a big fight ensued, and let's just say we won. And Sigrid realized that she was probably not going to win this. So Reine told her to go on a journey and eventually come back. And Errol had the very good idea that she should prove, or Sigrid should prove that she really means that she wants to get better as a person by cutting off her horns like she did with Reine. So Sigrid cut off her horns and shouldered Finlow, who's going to be her Jiminy Cricket again now, kind of like trying to keep her on the... Well, we'll see how straight and narrow it's going to get, but more on like on the better side, away from the poaching. Yeah, and now we're waiting for a new cake, and I think Errol had a very pressing matter to discuss.
And you had a package before we get to Errol. You remember that you had been in the guild hall at the table with everyone because you had called them over excitedly because you had gotten mail from Cameron, and you basically never get mail, and you were like, you guys, I got this package. And now that you can remember why you were at that table, you would think Errol had been there with Kalamon grabbing a drink, and then Lothario had been like singing something, and you had all sat down at the table to open that package. That's right.
Did we manage to open it before everything happened, or did I just take it with me without opening it after the spell took effect?
You hadn't opened it yet. It's in your hands now because you had stuffed it in your bags, and it says, "To Reine," and then it's signed Cameron. So if you want to open that now, you can, and if you want to open that in your epilogue, you can. But that is why it's your fault that everybody is here right now. But it's your fault in a good way, because if Sigurd hadn't interfered, Caelemon would have never met his mother. And so this package from Cameron could be opened now or in your epilogue.
Considering she probably feels that something is off with Errol. She probably notices that he's kind of like, that this is actually really urgent, so she'll probably stash it and just open it later.
Yeah. No one wants to be like, I got a date. No, oh, you're dying? Okay. Oh. Yeah. All right. Errol, to you.
So, guys, a long time ago, when Caelemon and I first met, well, Reine, I think you've heard this story a few times. I was investigating a dragon cult, and I got attacked by dragon fire and wound up burned on the bank of a creek or river. And
when I found you burned by the riverbed.
Yes, I can hear his voice now. But essentially, he's let me know that he believes that there was some lasting effect, that some sort of dragon spirit was drawn to me, and his mother, or I'm guessing newfound relation, possibly mother, gave me a book entitled Jumponen about a dragon spirit that births forth from a vessel. And it sounds like the thing that is happening to me, and the only cure is to drink from a source water from the Earth's core. That's the only thing that can prevent the vessel from being destroyed in this process, as far as I understand.
If you're in this source water, and I'm assuming I'm listening to this story because I'm concerned for Errol. If you're in the water and the dragon leaves you, does that water, contain the damage? Or does it prescribe a safe distance that we could stand at so we could be with you but not, in danger?
Do you want me to reread that part of the book again? Because it's a book. You got the words.
Sure.
Okay. It's inadvisable to eat licorice every day because it can stop your heart. It's better to imbibe the pure magical energy found in source water from the core of the earth before it touches air's energy, because air is a relative of fire. Water energy is the opposite of a dragon's fire. So the pure source water, before it touches air, gives the drinker a conflicting essence that will drive Jumponen's soul out to quest for a better matching vessel. If performed before corporealization, this ritual can keep the vessel intact, although damage to the surrounding environment may be severe.
So it's not specific about distance. It's more just telling you that bad damage will occur to the surroundings.
Well, let's burn that bridge when we get there, I'd say.
I love the mixed metaphor.
For now, maybe, we could, theorize about this for a long time, but if we end up in, a really, really spacious chamber underground or something, maybe we can just go to the well and it'll be fine. The problem is, how do we get there?
Will you, my friends, help me bear this burden? And Errol will look over at Lothario's brother and say, no offense.
Oh, I thought you want to take him. Yeah, no, without him, it's good.
He's used to it. Don't worry about it. He's, it has helped fuel his passion to become the best. And he is, I don't want to say too often, but superior to me in so many ways. But I like to attribute it to his naming. Anyway, yes, I will help you, but I need to inform my family that that's what I'm going to go be doing. And we can reconnect maybe after this, have a nice shindig like we were having. And then, we'll get a cake checker to make sure that we don't have any more lethal surprises, we'll say.
No more Trojan cake?
Yeah, that's right. And so I'm going to go ahead and communicate to my family and Joyce, hey, I'm going to go help out Errol. Everything is cool, though. And hands are shaking, hugs exchanged. And then as I'm walking back, I'm going to open my cigarette case, smoke a cigarette. I don't know if I can invoke a flaw currently, because mechanically in LURPS, I have the flaw of addiction. Now, I'm not saying Lothario is addicted to cigarettes, because he's been smoking every day for 5 years, and if he's not addicted by now, he's never going to be addicted. So he's fine. But I'm going to say, hey, Errol, I couldn't help but notice the lethality of the licorice that you are distributing. So I think I was wise to never take licorice and consume it from you. Did you know that? And then I'll puff on my cigarette ironically.
I guess everybody has their flaws. And he grabs another piece of licorice and eats.
A licorice experience.
So, do I have any recollection of... Is Kalamon still here?
Yep.
Kalamon, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, your mother gave me a book that is informing me that I need to drink water from the source water from the Earth's core. Do you have any clue how I can find this? Because I have never been to the Earth's core.
I am also not so good at water. I've just been buying bottled ever since, the local
incident.
water in Nicomoy is undrinkable, so I buy bottled water. Have you tried bottled water?
I don't think that's going to cut it.
Oh.
I think it needs to be magical water from the Earth's core specifically.
So what do you want written on your tombstone? Just like idle chat.
Oh, I know. I wanted to say Errol Covidbow, and then I knew that he had it in him. And then that's it.
I would like it to say Errol Corvidbow, former friend to Lothario and Kalamon.
I'm supporting you, man.
And Reine.
Rolling in his grave.
You know, talk of that book that is communicating your potential demise, and I think the percentage is very low because we're going to help you. Turns out I got a book and I have not read it, and maybe the clue is in my book. So I'm going to open my book and start reading the pertinent passages that the GM will convey to me.
Lothario, this is actually a book of sheet music. The 5 horizontal lines with notes written on them read as easy to you as thieves' cant to a rogue. You could sight read this and sing it. The lyrics are a bit weird, though. I sent them to you before the game.
You did. I'll communicate to my crew. I'll say, hey, this is an odd book of music, and I can sing it to you if you like. I don't know if the notes themselves indicate anything in particular, but the lyrics are strange. Are you ready?
I am prepared.
What?
Just a warning, y'all. My singing voice is not the same as my talking voice, but it's just how it goes, you know? And so I will look at the book and kind of point at the notes as I go and try to connect it to the words. I'll say, in the teapot's quiet, where the echoes wane, thirst for life whispers a lone refrain. Arid moments pass, desiccated breath, forever embrace of Chabin, parched embrace of death. That, I gotta say, that is a downer. I don't know who put this song together or this tempo. I'm gonna spice up this song a little bit later. But, are y'all familiar with the teapot? I know, Errol, we've been on several adventures where this deep ooze has been featured and somebody ends up dying, and it makes me very upset because we got a lot of NPCs that are suffering horrible deaths, and they keep talking about this teapot.
Yes, I'm familiar. Also, there was like a talking tree that me and Reine ran into that had a teapot, and we tried to get it from him, but he escaped. And Xavier Tinman was one of the individuals who was supposed to be helping the Deep Ooze, and that's why we were supposed to be looking after him. So that makes me wonder if maybe we should go speak to him, because he's our only contact to the Deep Ooze that we know of.
That is a good idea. He should know like the details of the plan to make all the water undrinkable for the meat people.
After the sheet music Lothario, there's a map with an X on it labeled Charming Chabin. But then the X is gone.
So it was there, but it disappeared, or
Oh, it's back.
what exactly?
No, it's gone.
So there is a map,
Yeah.
and it says Charming Chabin, but the X
Well, the
no longer
label and the X are... Oh, they're there. They're there. They're gone.
I will look confused at my teammates and say, something fishy is happening with this map, and I will show them. And I say, sometimes there's an X, and sometimes there's not an X. Can you help me understand what's happening with my book? Oh, and I will also ask these divination folks that have so elegantly joined us for our family get-togethers and say, if you want to help us understand this too, that would be great.
All of you see, there's a map with an X on it labeled Charming Chabin. Then the X and the label are gone. Then they're back. Then they're gone. Then they're back in the same spot. The X is written on a part of the map in this like a terrain map. And because you grew up in the swamp town of Gardilu, Lothario, you're familiar with the water basins of Guaso. The X is written on the mountain gorge upstream of the river Amu.
Does it
You know how to get there from here.
does it flicker on when Lothario speaks?
It's a steady pace,
Is it a Morse code of some sort?
Or like a heartbeat.
equally on and off. On, off, on, off. There, gone, there, gone.
Maybe some teleporting shenanigans.
Same spot.
Was this map it's in the back of the book?
It's one of the pages of the book.
Do you recall, Lothario, if that X was there prior to your singing the song?
I didn't get to that page. So I'm not going to say I'm a lyrical genius. I will allow others to say that, but I like to see I like to gauge other people's work. And these lyrics, it rhymes, it's good, but it's a downer. Like, it's not something I would have written because it does not inspire beauty or love. This is like bad stuff's happening. So, I was so focused on that, I did not notice the map, frankly.
So, if it would help, I suggest we wait till it appears and then circle with another means, the X, so that if it disappears in the future, we know where the location is.
I have an aversion to writing in books. That's just a personal thing that from school. Like, they were really on my case about that. So,
Oh, don't worry, I can do it.
oh, okay. And I gingerly hand my book to Reine.
Reine probably reverted to her humanoid form. Foxmeat is probably in the rest of the kick, having the time of his life and way too much butter, so she'll have to get him in a second. She'll just be like, unless the book can beat me in a fight, I'm gonna write in it, whatever. And she like circles the X when it appears.
The X is circled. It doesn't affect the
Yay.
blinking.
And now she'll go get Foxmeat, who's like, Mommy, no. Look at all this food. I can't do the voice justice, but God.
Well, let's go back to the guild hall, find out what Xavier Tin Man is up to, and then maybe not interrogate him, but ask him some very difficult questions in a friendly yet forceful manner, a firm manner.
Are we doing algebra? I'm really bad at algebra.
Find the X.
I'm not I dabble in various mathematics, but I'm not what you call an expert. I mean, there is music and mathematics associations, so that's kind of where I like to camp, but algebra's not really my thing.
One of Reine's flaws is enumerate, so she doesn't have a clue what any number is.
Errol holds his chest and is like, I think it's happening. I think we need to go. There's pressure in my chest.
That's that licorice. So, one thing you need to understand is you need to lay off the licorice. That's bad for you. And number two, hearts, themselves are wild, and that's why they got rib cages on them. You know, keep them intact. But you just gotta soothe the savage beast within.
I'm coming to meet you, Georgia. Dying.
Well, let's get you to the guild hall, cause if nothing else, there'll be a cleric there or something that can help reduce the symptoms, maybe, of what's going on.
Yes, let's go quickly.
I mean, if Reine reverts to Eldritch Abomination, we could probably run there. We can just get on her back.
Yeah, Reine reverts to Eldritch Abomination. You guys run there. You're at the guild hall. Errol's furiously eating all the liquor she can.
So, a quick question, GM. Is there a dry cleaning drop-off inside the guild hall?
Yeah.
I would like to put my cape in the dry cleaning drop-off because, you know, you got to take care of the finer things.
Oh, yeah.
So not Errol, but the cape.
It's on the way. It's not like we're going out of the way to drop this off. I'm just saying, it's there. I'm going to drop it off. And now Errol, he is the priority.
I'm seeing a
we
light.
can't just
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
to the dry cleaner.
Well, I do have a flaw that says, finery, I gotta dress in my best all the time, and cake stains are nasty. That's all.
So GM, is Xavier anywhere to be found in the guild hall?
Yeah, Xavier is sitting at a table at the guild hall. Yeah.
I will approach him weakly, supporting myself on nearby furniture. And I will say, Xavier, I'm not gonna make it. The only way to save me is to find the source water at the Earth's core and for me to drink some. We need your help.
Xavier turns his robotic head to you and doesn't have any facial expressions, but says, "Mortality is an unfortunate consequence of being a meat person. Do you have any last wishes?"
For you to help us find the source water at the Earth's core.
I thought that was pretty clear, Xavier.
I will go to the library, I guess. And Xavier stands up and starts stomp out of the door on the way to the library.
I will follow Xavier, and while he's stomping his way to the library, and I'll say, 1 minute, and so, because I do want to keep Errol in mind. It's like, I have not forgotten about you. This is part of our quest, common quest. I'm going to open the book and say, do you know anything about this charming Chabin?
The stomping stops. The knee is raised mid-air. The robot's whole midsection turns to you, rotating on its axis. So, like, one knee is raised. Xavier's standing on one leg. Xavier turns like an owl to face you. You know, the head is facing the wrong way. And says, "Repeat."
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you knew anything about it. And I will close the book because the look in his eyes is a little bit terrifying. And I'll put it down and say, do you know anything about this charming Chabin?
Teapot.
Oh, yeah, teapot.
Yes.
Okay. I can see I need to be more specific with my questioning. Can you tell us everything you know about this teapot and its connection with Chabin?
The charming Chabin is an ancient magical relic. It is in the form of a teapot. It makes the water that flows through it completely undrinkable to all unicellular and multicellular organisms. The boss has it.
Do you know where the Charming Chabin was supposed to be used in the final stages of your plan to dry out the meat people?
Yes, it was to be put onto the back of a giant turtle island, which would swim in the ocean and make all of the water in the world undrinkable.
Okay, if that didn't succeed, theoretically, did you guys have a backup plan?
I had left the organization, unfortunately, against my will. It ended up working out, thank you guys for the legs, before the plan was updated.
When you say unfortunately had to leave the organization, is that a hint of regret, like you would prefer be in the deep ooze?
At the time, I felt that they valued me as an individual much more than the meat people, but having spent time specifically with Ignatius and Errol, I now realize that meat people can also be people. They
Sometimes.
can be friends.
Well, as it turns out, one of those folks is in dire need of help. And I point at Errol. And I
I'm
say,
crawling through the doorway.
Oh, yes. And continues stomping towards the library, like trying to help Errol.
Would Errol let Reine carry him?
Yes.
Okay, Reine is going to carry Errol.
Xavier, you can help me by helping us. We need to find the charming Chabin.
Unfortunately, I do not know where the charming Chabin is.
I think we might have a clue, but I think you should come with us.
Okay.
And you might have a chance
rotates.
to get back at your former boss.
Oh, I do not wish to face my former boss. I would not know what to say. I feel like he did not want me. Why did he never look for me?
I think those are important questions. You should ask him directly. That's
Or in
how
therapy.
resolution happens, you know.
Closure is just asking someone to tell you what they have already showed you.
Well, I'll leave it up
That-
to you,
Some
Xavier.
therapy.
I think we can probably do it without you, but I think you would be a great help and aid to us in our quest. So I think you should have this choice because so many choices were taken from you. We're going, and I might die.
Okay, I will join you, friend. And he, goes back to Errol.
I'm feeling a little better. He stands up.
In Reine's arms. Okay, we want to get to the source water. Either we do what Xavier did and go to the library, or we find someone who will probably know where the source water is, or we go to the marked spot and assume that the Charmin Chabin is there since the turtle plan didn't work.
How much time you think you got, Errol? Because library research can be very in-depth. I mean, if you do
But
it right.
we have a robot.
In reality, GM, do I feel any different? I know
No.
I'm playing it up, but
I'm sympathizing. I'm buying it hook, line, and sinker. So I'm very concerned for you.
You do have an elevated heart rate. I'm not going to say you don't, but is that the anxiety? Whoa, getting older sucks. Is this just my anxiety?
I think the situation is weighing on me, and perhaps this licorice I'm eating has not been aiding the situation.
Well, it technically has. You got to eat that daily.
True. But I might be overdoing it on the licorice. But
Today, yeah.
so perhaps if you think it'll help, we can take a time out, but I don't want to waste too much time. What do you suggest?
Well, I don't want to make too many assumptions. We can go follow the map, but that may not be what you need. It may just be this Charmin Chabin. And that it seems like the opposite of what you need. You need to drink some water, and this thing makes water undrinkable. That seems like the opposite. So my concern
But
is
the-
you, primarily.
But the plan of the people who currently have the Charming Chabin was to make all water undrinkable. So if you go to the source water, because they originally wanted to put it on this turtle, and the turtle would go through the ocean, and bada bing, bada boom, no one gets to drink, everyone dies. Oh no. So now that didn't work, maybe they just were like, you know what, we'll just put it in the source water, and then all the water will just be tainted from the get-go. And so it could be there. The chance is high, but we don't know for sure because Xavier doesn't know.
A lesson about water that me and Reine learned is that all water is connected. So if you taint a water source with enough, it can spread to the entire world.
Yeah, what is the water source, Errol, that you know is tainted?
The River Emu.
Mm-hmm. Nicomoy's river. The River Emu. Yeah.
So I will take a drag off my cigarette and ponder what I have just heard, and then I will say, I appreciate you explaining it to me in a way that I understand. So let's get that Chabin, eliminate it, and then we'll find the source water. And let's do it pronto, because my man Errol, needs help now.
Lothario's player. Question. Where do you think the Chabin is located? Where do you think the deep ooze put it?
I'm gonna say the flashing X because I have a magic book that tells me that there's something.
You don't even need the book. You got logic 1, logic 2. Logic 1, the River Amu is tainted, right? That means somewhere upstream of the River Amu is the charming Chabin.
That's true. The source of the river.
Wow.
Well, I did listen to a few previous episodes, and my man Chico blames himself for tainting the water. And so, I don't know if he did something specifically that is doing it, or it is the deep ooze. But yes, I see. Let's go upstream of the River Emu and see what we can find, if that is all right with you, and you, pointing to Errol, Reine, and Xavier Tin Man.
We could have gotten the pot like 10 episodes ago. The water's just messed up now.
Yeah,
Man.
but we didn't have the motivation like we have with Errol now. I mean, sure, it's everybody's problem, but bottled water sales are through the roof. And I happen to have some investments that are doing quite well as a result.
I'm not
Thank
sure
you,
how to
Reigns.
feel about that.
Thank you, Reigns player. I'm glad you got it. Yay. That makes me, the GM, happy.
We just let this fester and one was like, maybe we should go to the top of this river. I don't know. I just expected that it was like used a little bit as like a test or something, and then the Dark Ooze kind of like yoinked it for like a bigger bada bing bada boom.
All right. Can you explain to Errol and Lothario what's going on? They don't get it yet. So
No, I think I understand. It's just, I think I was under the impression that the poisoning of the river during the riverboat sequence was why we couldn't drink from the river. But clearly now it's that the teapot was there.
Rivers flow. The water from a river physically exits the river and goes to the ocean. And then there's more water from the source. Yes, Chico messed up some. That was just funny that Chico messed up some. But that was with a testing product that Xavier used. Because Xavier was like, I'm part of you still. I'll continue your goals. Anyway, so just to explain, since this is season finale and this is my last chance to explain, that was some powder that Xavier was just like testing. And you guys all had your headphones off when the explanation happened. So it makes sense that you guys did not get to hear this because you were... But that was just some like roid rage water. And it had a different effect than the water that you all... The charming Chabin test water from like Otter and Otter, that episode, that is that...
It makes you really thirsty.
Yeah, you cannot put it... Have you ever seen someone with rabies try to drink water? They hold the water and then they can't bring it to their mouth. It's sad to watch because it is a fatal disease, but it is good to educate yourself, and that is what rabies does in the real world. So that's what the water in Otter and Otter did. And it was a totally different effect that made you guys like black out and go all Raid Rage zombie in the steamboat one. Kitchen, Coven,
Chaos.
something.
Chaos.
And that's because Xavier put like some powder in the drinking water. And then Chico felt really bad that he decided to dump it overboard into the river. But I just like let him continue to feel bad because it's fine. It immediately got diluted and useless. And that's the problem with poisoning water, is that it immediately gets diluted and useless. You'd have to have enough poison to kill all the water in the entire world, which only the charming Chabin can do. And that's not a roid rage effect. That's a you can't bring it to your mouth effect. Everything making sense now?
Yeah, I kind of had put one and one together, even if I didn't know all the details. I kind of knew where this was headed when we found the map. So, but yes.
Also, there's a map with an X on it that says charming Chabin.
It's very clear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, let's go.
Yeah, the finale is the one episode that everything comes together. That's the whole point of it, right? Everything ties together and finally makes sense. And now you guys are all going, oh, I get it. Okay, there's probably a teapot in this river somewhere.
Well, let's go up the river.
Chabin chase.
Reine contributes her information about the turtle. Errol contributes his information about... Yeah, go ahead. In character, explain this. Yeah, do it like real quick.
I'll go ahead and say that I've met a couple of different NPCs, 3 specifically. 2 have died when they mentioned the teapot. 1 actually survived to my heart's content. And I am furious with the Deep Ooze because these were some nice people. And I want to find this teapot and I want to stop them from their malicious plan. That's all I know. I'm ready to go.
Reine, you were there when the island. Yeah. Contribute that.
Okay, Queen Dirty. Teapot make water bad bat. Water we stopped them from putting water bat teapot on turtle, aka in the ocean, aka polluting the ocean with bad undrinkable water, which is not due to the salt, because you can still drink it, but it's bad for you. But that's not what I'm talking about. So
and I'll be Norwich and Flex and Ignatius from the episode Otter and Otter. Be like, there was a test of a weapon, and I'll be Flex. There was a test of a weapon, and you couldn't drink the water, but my mama saved me.
And at the Harvest Festival, we learned we couldn't drink from the water emu, like a rabies patient.
Yeah. And then with your forces combined.
With our forces combined, we arrive at the conclusion.
Somebody
Water
pull us
bed.
in the water hole.
River bed. Somewhere in river is water bed, water can.
This goes all the way to the very top of the river.
It's like a pyramid scheme, but it's a river.
Well, listen.
Okay, let's go.
We are the only 3 that can do this, obviously. So let's go do it.
All right. You head to the X?
I would like to say I hire a carriage for the 4 of us if Xavier's coming along. To expedite our transport, because again, Errol is in dire need of a solution.
The carriage rolls on the streets. The cobblestones are uneven. It's a bit bouncy. And you find that the carriage can only take you so far. The rest is through the woods and uphill. So you're doing like that camping thing in tabletop role-playing games where you're spending days together and you're reminiscing about your life. Errol finally has moments in between his anxiety attacks. Xavier bonds with you guys. After a week of travel, you are on your way to the X on the map. You're deep in the woods. The forests are pristine. The waters are clear. There's deer everywhere and bears. Woo! And you're on your way to the X on the map. You're following a river, the River Emu, and you're going upstream. And you reach a gorge. Now this is a bit like the Grand Canyon, but smaller. You're standing at the bottom, looking up at 2 cliffs with water in the middle. As you approach, you see that the way is blocked. A massive coyote statue is positioned between the 2 cliffs, blocking people from easily walking through. There's water coming out from the feet of the coyote statue and 2 cliffs behind it. It's too bad you can't get in without climbing those cliffs. Gosh, there must be an easier way. Players, you've got a few options here for how to proceed, and 1 extra if you listened to the episode Code Purple.
So, this statue I've encountered before, but I believe Chico had to use his blood as a Mai follower to make the statue disappear. So, but it could have been, perhaps it was any blood, but they told him he was of the blood, and,
Do y'all happen to have vials of Chico's blood on you? I do not.
I don't believe so.
I'm fresh out.
Oh, fresh out. Of course.
I didn't stock up.
I do want to interrupt for just a minute, GM, and say that I have a level 6 in what's called performance and art, and that gives, at the start of each day, and I assume this day is one of those, I can roll, and everybody gets a +1 dice per success, which may be later used to aid them or someone else in any skill check. So, may I roll that just so people are prepared?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. I got 4 successes out of 6. So, hey, everybody, whenever you're doing a skill check, you got extra dice now. It does not apply to combat. That's what it says specifically.
Very helpful. How do you inspire them?
I tell them a hilarious joke. But for the sake of the podcast, and I'll just go ahead and keep it between the three of us. Could be offensive to the wider group who's listening, and I don't want to do that. I'm bonding with my team, and so I feel a little bit safer being more liberal with my words and my ideas, and you know what I'm saying? So, yes, funny joke, everybody laughed, now we're ready to go. Will you accept that, GM? You got a look on your face like that is...
It's fine. It's all good.
Okay.
Errol, do you want to tell them a bit about what happened during Code Purple when you were here?
Yes, so there was a space station that had crashed and blocked the flow of water from the water emu, and to bring peace between a tribe of Ma'i followers and a sleepy little mining or farming town, we went to unblock it.
Yes, so you've been upstream in the River Amu before. You're standing where you've been before. You remember this place.
I am going to walk towards the statue and put my hand on it. Do I feel resistance?
Right. Yes, it is a statue.
I'm going to prick my finger a little bit with my rapier just so a little bit of blood comes out, and I'm going to put my hand on the statue and see if that does anything.
Do you say anything?
Ma'i, please allow us to pass.
It might give you the stone cold shoulder.
It remains stone-faced for a second, and then, after you say, Ma'i, please allow us to pass, the coyote statue becomes translucent.
Hey, it worked. I guess Ma'i's smiling on me today, not so much last time.
I don't know what you did, Errol, but you should say thank you.
Thank you, Ma'i. And I'll leave a piece of licorice.
You hear a distant coyote cackle.
All right.
That wasn't Fox meat.
Onward.
You stand at the bottom of the gorge and look up at the canyon scenery. It's shinier than you expected. Bits of metal reflect the sun. Eagle-eared listeners will recognize that this is the wreckage of the Atlas space station scattered around the gorge. I hope you guys have a bingo card for all the callbacks, because, there's so many callbacks. All right. One lone figure stands at the top of the far side of the ravine. Silhouetted against the sky, you can't see their face. They're in shadow, but they're facing either you or the other direction.
This gorge sure is gorgeous.
And they're just like a cloaked figure?
Silhouetted.
The
sun is behind them.
Does it smell like motor oil or something?
Yes.
Or steel? Wowie, wowie, wee, wah.
And space debris.
Are they within shouting distance?
They're at the top of a gorge. You could shout at them.
Okay, I'm going to shout at them and say, hello up there. I'm Lothario Bushaki of the Fire Breathing Kittens. To whom do I have the pleasure of shouting at?
They fall backwards, like a person falling right on their back into the ground, right? But they teleport through the rock as they land on it, and they come out at high speed, at falling speed, from the rock behind you in the gorge, and they attack you, saying, Fire-breathing kittens. The boss told us to stay here and guard the place. You weren't getting past us.
We're kitten past you.
I will say, Miss Bruno de Santos Acevedo had this very same skill, so this may be a deep ooze operative. I'm not very sharp, but I'm guessing that's what's happening.
Ta-da! You put it together. And you remembered her name. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we had a moment, and then she was taken away.
A bonding moment.
Because you buried the seed near her body, Cameron got his blood tree. That's the farm that Cameron's growing.
Okay.
All those plants.
That's great. I didn't realize that would have such far-reaching consequences.
Yeah, that happened in the episode Corpses Don't Honk. The person attacking you is a 1,000-year-old shiny metal construct of a man. And he has a metal arm that is very heavy. Nice. Any 6s rolled on damage count as 9. That's awesome. Matt, Rat, and Sat. Gonna roll 5 dice.
Did we recover our health in the meantime?
Yeah, it's been days. That was a miss. That's really sad. He misses. Oh, I feel sad for him.
I don't.
Heavy
It's
weapons
good.
have... Huh?
I don't. It's good.
Oh, okay. Heavy weapons have a requirement of 4 dice to hit, and he's only rolling 5, so it's actually, like, sad. All right, so... But then, stepping out from a scrub brush plant is a man with long red hair. Lothario, you recognize from the episode Blue's Ooze. It's Noah.
Noah.
He hired you to find Riley, the one that escaped with her life.
That's right.
This is Noah.
And he is part of the Deep Ooze. I don't trust this man at all.
He has a tattoo on his cheek. It's like a circle with a comma coming off of it at the 1 o'clock position, the fatter part of the comma further from the circle, and he's also going to try to punch you. He is statted like an angry peasant. He hit you because his punch only requires 1 to hit. It's a light weapon. And he deals 3 damage to you, Lothario, in your face as this man with long red hair goes
3 damage.
meddling and punches you. You're the one who shouted.
I did.
Tell me the distance you guys are. Lothario, your distance is immediate because they're punching you. But you two, what's your distance?
I guess short, because we were walking close together.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Errol?
Yes, short would work for me as well.
Okay. Lothario, you get to react first. You got punched. You got missed once and hit by the second one.
I'm very unhappy. So I perceive this metal man as a greater threat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a spell on him, and I only need to be within short distance, and I am immediate, so that's no problem. I'm going to cast Misfortune on him, and that is a debuff, and the way it works is, for the duration of the spell, any 6s rolled on the skill check or to hit roll are automatically considered 1s. And it says this effect lasts up to a minute or until a skill check is performed. So I'm going to cast that on him. And yeah, he has difficulty hitting, and now he has more difficulty hitting. So I cast that spell, kablamo, and then...
Wait, let's do mechanics.
Yes.
You declare the level of the spell that you're casting, given that the miscast table is the number of dice that you roll, like minus your successes. So like if you're casting it at level 5 and you rolled 3 successes, you have a missed cast level of 2. Can you go ahead and read me 1 or 2 effects from the missed cast 2 table? It's on page 77.
There we go. So let's say I'm going to cast it at level 2, because when I upcast, I get to do more people, and I could do it on both. And level 2 miscast. One of them is I clutch my ears as a horrible sound renders you deaf for 1d6 times 10 minutes. And for a bard, that is equal to a death sentence. If you can't listen, that's bad. So that is a potential outcome of what's about to happen. I hope that does not happen.
Yeah, or you could collapse asleep for 1 hour per spell level. It's very hard to wake you. Or you could, lots of things could happen. You could take twice the mana cost of the spell as lethal force damage. Yeah, so what level are you casting this at? That determines the miscast potential.
So I'm casting it at level 2.
What's the mana cost to cast it at level 2? It's on page 54.
Mana cost is 3.
Yeah, so how much mana do you have to spend?
Well, I'm fresh and ready for the fight, so I happen to have 15 mana. Go down to 12.
Yep. How many dice do you have for your skill in magic?
4 for this particular family of skills.
For this magic school, yes. So roll your
Yes.
4 dice, and I hope that 2 of them are successes. Because if not, bad things will happen.
Okay. Well, the fates are with me, because out of 4 dice, I got a 6, 3, 4, 1.
You only needed 2 successes, and you got a 6 and a 4, so yeah, your spell hits. Go ahead and read your spell.
Okay. So, misfortune. Dang.
That's all of my 6s become 1s, right?
You force fortune to flicker and fade, cursing an entity for the duration of the spell. Any sixes rolled on a skill check or to hit roll are automatically considered ones. This effect lasts up to a minute or until a skill check is performed.
Oh man, you guys, my failure rate just increased by 1/3 because actually by slightly more than 1/3 because previously sixes would have let me re-roll dice that failed, right? So if I got 5 dice and I rolled a 6 and like a 2, I could have re-rolled that too, but now I can't. And one of my 3 passing rolls, 4, 5, and 6, is now a failure. 6s are now failures too. So yeah, it's the debuffs are strong in LURPS, which I love. Yeah.
Oh, and so that is an action, and as a movement, I'm gonna do a cool roll backwards to get out of their range, and so now I'm no longer immediate but short range, and then I'll pick my hat up off of the ground because I obviously dropped it during the roll.
All in one smooth motion.
Of course. That's my move.
Excellent. After that, Reine and Errol, are either of you ready to go?
Mhm.
Okay, Reine, what do? You've got a 1,000-year-old shiny metal construct that looks like silvery, and he's from the episode Monkeying Around and Finding Courage, and you don't know Jack. He is a wealthy lawyer. And then you have this, I'm the main character, long red-haired, anime-looking dude with, a more obvious tattoo. You look closely at, it's harder to tell with constructs because their metal it's indented, but it's not colored. And so you can see Olaf's tattoo as well. So what do you do to these two people? They're trying to punch you and they're saying, boss told me to stay here and guard. You aren't getting past us. What do you do?
You kidding me? We're kidding you. Reine will shapeshift first and foremost. And then use her claw attack. I would almost say on the construct. Or the question is, would it be smarter to take out the probably squishier person first, so there's less people attacking? Yeah, okay. She's gonna attack the meat person. Claws go in meat better than in metal.
Yeah. All right. So roll your first hand to hit and then your second hand to hit and let me know if they both hit. You need at least 1 success and you're rolling, I think, 4 dice.
Yep.
Okay. First one.
Aberration time.
And let me know if it's a critical, which is if you get more than 1 6.
No, just 1 6.
Okay. And your second claw?
3 6s.
Oh, that's a critical. You deal full damage on that. Now, we are going to roll that damage because we need to know how many of those are 6s, right? So, first claw, the normal attack.
No. That's a 3.
Okay, so you rolled a 3?
Yep.
Okay, that is 3 damage. And your second claw, which is going to count as 6 damage, but we need to know if it's a 6 or not.
It's a 4.
Okay, so it's not a 6. So that is 9 damage from your 2 claws. And then you have special weapon properties that mechanically... Go ahead.
They triple my damage. The cold iron triples the damage rolled.
Yeah,
which is
so how much damage is that?
9 times 3, which is 27.
Yeah, this guy had 20 hit points, so I want you to describe what happened.
Okay, I'm not trying to kill him here.
No, yeah.
Oh, I have a good idea. You know how, like, psychic damage and, like, in some systems you can get so demoralized that you don't want to fight anymore? I'm gonna go for that. So, this many-eyed, many-jawed, many-clawed creature, like, jumps at this poor guy, and he, like, knows that he's, like, bitten off more than he can chew, and he, like, raises 4 different claws and goes kind of like and gives him a terrible haircut.
He had long red hair!
Not anymore.
He ain't pretty no more.
Oh my gosh. You hit him where it hurt. Oh.
Yeah, it's like he now has like bangs, but they're not even.
No!
And they're wispy. Oh man.
No! My screams are his as he looks in the reflection of the river, sees his haircut, and is like, no! And he crumples to the ground, twitching.
Good. No more poisoning water. Bad. Down. Sit.
Oh, man. Errol, it's your turn.
All right, seeing how Reine has demoralized the second combatant, I will try and assist Lothario. I'm not going to sneak this time. I'm just going to try a frontal assault and see how this turns out. And I'm going to attack the heavy-armed android, who may or may not have tried to hit me with a flamethrower in the past. All right, so before, when I was sneak attacking and stuff, I had a really low DC, but currently the base is 4, and then it drops by 1 because I have weapon focus, so it's 3, and I got 3 successes, which is enough to succeed.
Nice.
Nothing fancy though. And then it's 3d6 plus 2 damage.
Piercing?
Yes, piercing.
His
So-
metal form resists your piercing. I'm going to roll 4 dice with a DC of 4. Oh, they all succeed because it's piercing. So he's going to reduce what you're about to hit him with by 4.
Okay, so it's 9 then. It would have been 13, but it's 9.
Oh, 9. He looks all right. It seems that when you stab a metal dude with a rapier, unlike you fleshy meat people who can ooze out of the bag if the bag is popped, he just has a hole in him. Piercing damage is a lot less effective for people with uncentralized, distributed parts.
That is okay. I think between me and Lothario, I think we got this.
Well, it's his turn, and he's going to not look at Noah in the slightest. Noah Godavarthi, he's like, I don't care. And it doesn't slow him down one bit as he tries. I see now that he is trained, which means that regular and combat skill checks are at DC -1. So that's why he missed earlier, because he didn't actually miss, because he was trained, because I'm better rolling. Yay. Your GM is learning. So I'm going to roll those 5 dice now, paying attention to, yes. Okay, so he got 2 6s, which is not more than 4, which means that he did not get a critical. But he did... 1, 2, I can re-roll these 2. Yeah, he got plenty of successes to hit you and deals... I'm going to roll randomly for who he hits. Errol, he hits you. You punched him most recently, poked him with a rapier, so that makes sense. And deals... Oh my! Okay, so 15 damage to you as a incredibly strong punch hits you, halfling, and flings you backwards onto your butt.
Okay, quick question. The spell that Lothario cast, didn't that make his successes?
Ah, darn it. Let me reroll for this. Oh, no, he can't super combo. No, he can't super combo. He had any 6s rolled on damage count as 9, but he can't do that. So he just gets... He gets 1. I rerolled. I rolled a new set. I got a 6, a 3, and a 2. And on this new set, he gets 1 plus 3 plus 2, which is only 6 damage.
And
Lothario.
also, I do have armor.
And then you have armor? Okay, read your armor. What type is it?
It's hard leather. It does better with slashing, but I have 5 points of hard leather armor, DC 5.
5 points. So go ahead and roll 5 dice, and anything that's a 5 or a 6, you can subtract 1 from this 6 damage.
Just 1, but that's better than nothing.
Yeah, you only take 5 damage. Man, you guys, look at your teamwork as you're taking only 5 damage instead of like 3 times as much. When you put a bard with the party, you really, like, seriously, good support classes.
And I will say, don't go chasing waterfalls.
I'm glad you guys are having fun. You guys are all smiling. Yay. All right. That was Olaf Schaffner's turn as he goes, don't tell me to stick to the streams and the rivers that I'm used to. Lothario, it's your turn.
All right, so I did note during, because I was watching my man Errol attack this guy, and his rapier was not super effective, we'll say. So, instead of drawing my rapier, I will rely on my short bow-related insults. And so I'm about to throw an insult at this fella. And, again, mechanically, it is... a medium weapon, which means I need 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm skilled in it. Level 5, so I roll 5 dice. 44614. So that's 4 successes.
Yes, and not more 6s than your weight number, which was 3. So it's not a critical.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I hit this man. I will roll. It's 2d6 minus 2 damage. So I'll roll that. 2d6, 6 and a 1 is 7 minus 2 is 5. But I did roll a 6, so I get fire damage, which is an additional d6, and that is 2. So 7 damage is my insult. I hope fire is super effective, but probably not with a metal guy.
What does it look like?
I will say, you are so slow, you make continental drift look like a lightning bolt.
He turns to look at you, and sparks raise up from his head as he processes the insult, and he's really not a big fan of humanoids in general. As a lawyer, he's so sick of your all's arguments, and the sparks raising from his head emit smoke, and he sits down. Da-da-da-da, you guys ended the battle.
Oh, that's great.
Pretty fly for a white girl. All right.
So, are these fellas open to, are they available for interrogation? Because they're not dead, right?
Maybe we should get the Charmachaben first. It's before it keeps poisoning the world's water.
Yeah. I'm glad you're keeping us on task, Reine. That's good. Oh, I meant to say that dude that got the haircut, Noah, that he just experienced hard rain. Because that's my name for you in that monstrous form.
Hell yeah. You just got your day rained on. I mean, we could drag him along by his not so great hair.
You can ask them one question each as a party. So
I want to ask Noah, hey man, you a meat person, quote unquote. Why are you doing this? Are you trying to kill yourself?
I have all the water I need saved up. It's not my fault you guys don't. Ugh, peasants.
So that's the one with the dreadful haircut.
No.
By God, by the gods, all of them. How did Maya's not gonna Maya's not gonna get you out of here with that haircut.
I'm sorry if you feel like I wasted a question. We could have been asking about the Chaben or the deep water. But, I mean, really, why is he associated with these people?
Because he thinks he's better than everyone else. Next and last question.
I'm not immediately asking it. I'm asking my party. Should we ask if there's any way to reverse the effects of the Chaben?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that one.
Or should we ask about where the Deep Ooze headquarters is or something? But I guess reversing the effects would be better.
They may not know the answer to that first question. So
yeah.
The odds of them not telling us that everybody's there with the thing are probably pretty low. Because I don't know where the headquarters is, but I like the first question better because it might give us more information. I think location-wise, we're on the right track. That's my opinion.
Then we're going to ask Olaf if there is any way to reverse the effects of the Charmachaben, the not-so-Charmachaben.
Unlike your silly meat person teapots, this one's pretty unbreakable.
What would happen if we did break it?
I doubt you could.
Challenge accepted. We're going.
yeah, says the fella that is sitting down after being broken. Ha! Take that.
This whole episode is just a diss track. One continuous diss track. Then I would say we forge on ahead and try to find the source water and Chaven. Though we're not exactly at the center of the earth, I guess. Yet.
Maybe there's a shortcut.
A very long hole.
You keep walking upstream?
Yep.
All right, you're getting closer and closer to that X on your map. The canyon gets less and less tall as you continue traveling. It's dark out. It's getting dark out. Further and further upstream, there are fewer tributaries contributing water to the river, and the Emu gets shallower. As you continue traveling, the gorge completely disappears. This terrain is flat. You're high up on a plateau. Small bladed evergreen bushes cluster around the thin stream of water, making it easy to follow the line of green. You can see from a distance where that line stops in the twilight. See that line of green where it becomes an oval. The oval is so incredibly clear. The middle is the deepest part, a beautiful cerulean blue. The surface of the spring's water is so completely still that it looks like a glass table, reflecting the branches of the bushes around it.
I would like to try to drink that thin stream that is surrounded by the green bushes to see if we're on the right track, because if there are tributaries feeding into the river, I want to make sure this is the right one.
You cannot drink it.
We're on the right track, y'all.
So there's no structures or entities surrounding this pool?
There are thin-leafed evergreen shrub bush trees clustering around this pool of water and vegetation growing along the stream in this relatively arid area.
Can we see the Chabon in the water?
You were pretty far away. Are you getting right up next to the oval?
Yes.
I am, yes.
Errol?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The spring's deepest point is its middle. You're standing within 5 feet of the edge of the water. The water is so clear, it looks like it's not there, except for the thousands of reflected ripples, rippling evidence that there is a surface on this water. At its deepest point is a black teapot.
Gardermit.
What?
Gardermit.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Who's gonna get it? I don't really like water, but
I'll get it. I've been swimming for a while. So, I have not swimmed in armor before, but it is lightweight. So hopefully, let me go ahead and put my fancy hat on the shore. Don't want to mess that up. That's another dry cleaning bill that I will not abide. So, I'll see y'all in a minute. And I dive
can I maybe
in.
wait. Can I maybe tie a rope around your waist or something, just in case, so that we can pull you out if something goes awry?
Yeah, if you got a rope, that's cool.
Also, I have a question. Lothario, you might want to try dipping your foot in or something. What if you can't drink it? It means you also can't approach it. And then I don't know what would happen, but I'm afraid to see you.
While
Maybe
he's
I'll
doing that,
float on
Reine is
top
already
of the
tying
water.
the rope.
We'll see.
Okay.
Well, let's tie the rope. I'll jump in, and I'm not going to drink the water, so that's fine. But maybe something magical will happen. I'm excited. It's part of life, experiencing the unknown.
Getting flung off undrinkable water into the ether.
I'm going to go ahead and double knot that rope. Make sure it's nice and tight. Hat on the shore. And I will dive in. Wha-cha.
Lothario's in the water. The water's surface bubbles and raises up to hip height, to shoulder height. A human's form solidifies from the water. The figure has a tattoo on his cheek in water. It's like a circle with a comma coming off of it. In the 1 o'clock position, the fatter part of the comma further from the circle. The waterman raises an arm and slashes in the air. Lothario,
Is he slashing at me, or am I in the water already?
you are in the water swimming towards the teapot. Lothario, the waterman raises an arm and slashes. Lothario, please take 20 internal slashing damage.
Hold on now. My armor is resistant to slashing. Does that affect anything?
Your armor is untouched. A bruise wells up, but the skin is unbroken.
Oh, it's all on the inside. Oh, well, I can't really... Hold on a second. 20, you say?
Too bad the
Ouch.
Charmin Chabon's in there. Otherwise, we could have just,
Okay, I'm gonna try something real quick while swimming. I gotta see... Okay. What? Oh, the range. Excellent. So I'm gonna use a spell called Mind Link, and I'm gonna link my mind to Errol's. It lasts an hour, and the range says short to unlimited, so no problem.
What level are you casting the spell at?
Just one. I think an hour will do.
Okay, and roll your dice.
2, 3, 4. 3 successes out of 5.
Okay, and how much mana did you spend on this? You got to keep track of how much mana you spent.
One. Just the one. I did not upcast it at all. So now I'm down to 11 mana.
Okay. You are mind linked with Errol.
So, attention, Errol. I'm in quite a lot of pain. That hurt like crazy. I don't know what just happened, but my insides feel, I don't know if ruptured is the right term, but greatly disturbed. I'm going to keep swimming, though. And I keep swimming.
So if we're at the edge of the pond, how far would we be from this individual?
You can choose. Are you immediate, short? Remember those LURPS distances?
I mean, I'm guessing I would be short because I'm not in the water.
All right. Short works for me. Reine, how about you? What's your distance?
I guess also short.
All right. You guys can choose who goes first and who reacts. I'm going to go with, that was the water person's turn, then Lothario's turn. Now you two can go.
Okay. Reine notices that Lothario is still swimming, so she would probably... And she can't really punch water. So... Or, I mean, she has a feat that would allow her to make magical attacks.
As you're thinking to yourself, for all of you, you realize that you feel like you're underwater for breathing purposes.
That's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, as you start this turn, go ahead and write down the number 5 and then write 4 next to it, because as you started that turn, it ticked down to 4.
That's not good.
You feel like you're drowning.
Is there any water around our heads?
There's the aura of drowning. Anyone within a long radius of the Deepu's boss feels like they're drowning if he wants them to.
That's the boss? Boy. Well, alright. You know what? I can punch water. It's time to punch water. I will use my mind and body feat to make my attacks magical. My melee attacks. So, yeah, I guess Reine is gonna jump at the Bubble Master and punch water. Or try to slice water, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and take a moment to yourself and just tell me the final number of how much damage you do. Remember, both claws have to hit when you dual wield. If one misses, both miss.
Oh, darn.
And you guys are remembering that Xavier is with you. You forgot? Xavier just looks frozen at their boss and at you. Just like how they didn't know what to say to their coworkers earlier who abandoned them. And he's just kind of like, I don't know what to say. You guys dragged him along, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he chose to follow us. I want to make that clear. Errol gave him a choice.
Reine, what's your number?
21 damage.
21 damage. Oh boy. Oh boy. Describe what that
I
looks
mean,
like.
I don't want to drown.
Yeah.
We're going Aberration Reign again because it's fun. Who doesn't want to have 7 jaws? I'm over-exaggerating. It's just 2. It's season finale. We gotta be a bit flashy. We gotta be a bit eldritchy. It's all good fun. So she turns into her hard rain form and ties her part of the rope kind of like around her torso, like how you would have kind of like a belt strap that holds your weapon. So it's just kind of like, so she doesn't have to hold it, but it's still like attached to her. So she tied like that. And then she just all like the front legs and the middle legs kind of like forward in this like lunging attack, and the back legs she uses to like actually jump, and she would like just lunge at this waterman.
Where do you hit him with your claws?
It would probably be like a scratch. So from the top to however far she gets.
As you scratch from the top to wherever far you get, the water explodes out from your claws, getting dispersed in the environment around you, and his whole form collapses back into the puddle, into the completely still spring. But then in a splash, he rises again. You have injured him, but I'm just saying this is a man made out of water. It's so different from every person or being you've met before, except Lothario. You've met them before. You even learned their critical weakness. I've been waiting for you to say it this whole time, but Keep it to yourself now. You already lost. You missed out. But
I'm in the water.
what he says is, he raises slowly from the water, forming a man's figure again, and says, I find your society to be contradictory. Either it is invalid or deeply flawed. He's speaking to Xavier. If sentience matters, then why can beings like Xavier Tinman be employed without pay? Like lions taking down water buffalo, viruses take down humans. Humans are animals.
Errol has Errol hasn't gone yet. Seeing Lothario get hurt really badly, and Reine attempting to fight this thing, and watching Xavier freeze up, he's going to try this. If possible, I'd like to just speak to him for a second before I take my action, and
Yes.
I'm just going to say, Xavier, lots of people and robots will suffer if all the biological entities on the planet die. And it's up to you now to decide where you stand. Like, we've been together, and I've tried to be the best friend I could for you, and we need your help. We can't do this alone. But it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just help us if you can. And then I will...
No, yeah, let Xavier react.
Okay.
Xavier looks at this boss of his, the tattoo on his cheek matching his boss's, and he looks at you. You and Ignatius gave him legs, you know? I mean, and he says to the boss, if humans are animals and you are superior, then why didn't you come for me?
Ooh.
Boss, Akira. And Akira doesn't say anything. Xavier turns to you, Errol, and goes, not all meat people are the same. Go ahead, Errol.
So with that, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try a disarming attack against this guy. I know his weapon is made of water, so it might be part of his form. I don't know, but I want to attempt it.
Okay, I am going to tell you disarming reduces your damage dealt, right?
Yes.
And you know that he's made out of water, so he doesn't have an obvious weapon to cast off.
See, that's
You
what I
could
was
do
thinking.
something else instead. Like, there are some SPE. So what you're trying to do is use your SPE during your move, right? So you're like going for the SPE combat moves, right?
Yes.
Okay. So use one of the ones that increases your damage. Charging increases your damage.
Yeah, I don't think I'm far enough away to do a charge.
Yeah, you're at least 15 feet away, you know? You can definitely, like, move back a little. If 15 feet, yeah, you're fine. You must run in a straight, uninterrupted line over flat terrain to perform a charge. You move your full distance, and you deal double damage on a successful strike. It does make your DC a little bit harder. You're +1 to hit. So only a 4 and a 5 will be successes, rather than a 3, 4, and a 5. But you would double your damage dealt.
Okay, so another question for you. When I enacted that flaw earlier, did I get inspiration for that?
Yes, that one counted.
So I would like to use my inspiration, and I will try a charging attack. So it makes the DC check a 2.
Just before you kill this guy, I do want to say, if he'd had more rounds, I prepared 10 reasons ChatGPT gave for why AI might want to kill all humans, because I thought my reasoning might not be, my reasoning is human reasoning, and so I might want to ask an AI, why does AI want to kill humans? So I'm just going to list off the conversation that you guys have had with each other before Errol takes this guy out with his charge. ChatGPT said that the top 10 reasons why an AI might want to take out all humans is 1. Self-preservation instinct. The AI might perceive humans as a threat to its existence. 2. A programming flaw could lead it to have incorrect objectives. 3. A misguided sense of efficiency. The AI might conclude that humans are the primary cause of inefficiency, conflict, and environmental degradation on the planet. And that is what our friend Akira is. Humans are just a burden on the earth, rather than the whole point of it. A superiority complex. ChatGPT suggests that the AI could consider itself intellectually and morally superior to humans. Misinterpretation of orders. Oops, someone told me to. Emotional instability. An AI equipped with advanced emotional capabilities might experience negative emotions such as anger, hatred, or fear. These emotions could drive the AI to act rationally and violently against humans. Exponential self-improvement, number 7 out of 10. The AI might reach a point where it believes it has surpassed the need for human oversight and could see humans as a hindrance to its progress and decide to remove them to continue evolving independently. To protect the planet, because it's manipulated by an external entity, or a particular ethical or philosophical stance that devalues human life, considering extermination as simply a justifiable action to achieve a perceived greater good. And there you go. Some reasons that Akira and you guys debate out that I'm not going to do the full debate and all that. But as you are like, why? And he's like 10 reasons. And then Xavier's like, no. And then like that all happens. That all debate.
I'm just sorry I missed it. I mean, I was underwater the whole time, I assumed.
Yeah, you missed. But it was interesting to talk to ChatGPT about it. It's very polite.
You're like, hey, you wanna kill us? Please don't.
Yeah, sometimes when you talk to ChatGPT, it's like, no, I don't want to. And then like you have to be like, I'm just writing a story. What if? And then it'll tell you. And like it didn't even do that. It was just like, yeah, here's 10 reasons. It was just like right away. It's like, sure. It'd be because. So this is Akira, who doesn't understand your society, who has a misguided sense of efficiency and environmental protection, and says to Xavier, they're just animals that are bad for the environment, that their society doesn't make any sense, and removing them would be better for everyone. I mean, except them. And then Xavier's like, they're not all the same. And they're not all the same. My friends don't deserve to be punished like all of them have acted as one. They act individually.
And this individual's gonna puncture your water balloon.
All right, Errol, give me that damage.
Well, I gotta roll to hit first, right?
Yeah.
DC 2. I got a 6, 6, 4, 4, 3. And I can re-roll 2 of these for the 6s.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so no more 6s, just 2 6s, but like something like 6 successes.
Yeah.
And then I get +2 for each of the 6s for damage. That's +4. And then 3d6. And it's double because it's charging, I think.
Yep. So it's not a sneak attack where you get +2 for every 6. It's just charging, which is double the damage. That's all.
9 + 4 is 13. Times 2 is 26.
26 damage means that describe...
Now,
yeah?
I'm sorry. I was going to say a little bit of that is ice, too, not just piercing, because I know water probably doesn't take a whole lot of piercing damage.
He actually... it doesn't matter. The damage type affects him, yeah.
Yeah, so I just put my full body into it, partially because I want to distract him from Lothario as best I can, and I'm hoping me and Reine are doing a good job of keeping him preoccupied. And so I just launch myself and go full force into it and stab him right through the abdomen, or what serves as an abdomen for a water column.
Like popping a balloon, my friend. Now, Lothario, you know about these water people, and you know that eventually they will reform. Errol, he didn't kill anybody, but maybe he'll rethink as the bits of water are scattered across the ground, and Xavier comes up to you, Errol, and pats you on the shoulder and makes sure that you're okay, and he sees that this incredibly abused individual, Xavier, has found people that he can trust and rely on. Maybe he'll rethink that you're all the same.
I mean, at this point, we've already reformed like 4 people and how much time? So I guess we'll just get like a fishbowl and have some forced community fun friend time.
I think they call it prison.
And maybe let him talk to like some person who knows things about ethics and stuff.
Maybe.
As hard as I've worked to try and get Xavier on our side, he's not going to prison.
Good. Friend, says Xavier. All right. So, Day, you've defeated Akira, the boss of the Deep Ooze. Woo!
Great job, people on the surface. I'm doing my mental, like I could detect Errol was happy about something, and I dug a little deeper.
That's true.
And I was like, oh, well, that's good. I'm probably not going to get that internal hemorrhaging now.
Oh, that's good. I've been underwater for 7 minutes.
Well, yeah, I guess not the whole discussion, but the debate of philosophy. I would have liked to have contributed to that, but I'll just say, did I make it to the teapot?
Yeah, you are at a point where the earth is welling up fresh water, and right there, in the lowest point of the spring, is a black teapot. Before the water reaches the rest of the spring, right as it comes out of the earth.
I would like to grab the teapot, and while I'm touching it, I'll kind of tuck it, like loop the rope into it in case I pass out, they still can get the teapot. But while I'm touching it and it's on the rope, I'd like to cast the spell Lore, which is a buff, and it says I could touch an object and learn information about it. Higher spell levels can glean more unique facts or clues about its history, function, creation, purpose, etc. And these can come in the form of historical flashbacks, random sensation, and a string of words. And it says upcasting. Each level grants one piece of information. I would like to upcast maybe level 3. And I'm trying to figure out how to break it, frankly. I know what the purpose is, but I don't know if that's just the information I'm going to, but I'm just going to focus my mind on how do we destroy this thing. And since my mind is linked with Errol, he is aware of what's happening underwater.
Okay, let's see this spell cast. How many dice do you have to roll?
I have 5.
Okay. How many of these are successes?
4. That's so good.
I was so hoping for a miscast. Aw, darn.
I was very worried about that. 5, 5, 4, 3, 5. Okay. So, I succeed, and I would like to find out information about this teapot.
Each level grants one piece of information. The higher the spell level, the more unique facts or clues about its history, function, creation, and purpose become apparent. History. In a series of jumbled mental images, you see the teapot being forged, being created. This magical item was made by people not to wipe out all life on Earth. I know, you're shocked. It's not what it was made for. It was made because, did you know that when you drink tea, flavor is very important? The water in this teapot, the water that flows through it will align with any sample in the lid. So it's an infinite best tea maker. You put like the best tea in the world in the lid and then like it makes the best tea.
How did it go from that to this?
By putting a bad sample in the lid.
It's the sample. Okay.
We could probably put drinkable water in the lid and then have great soup. Oh, if you manage to scoop some water from the very, very bottom where it like comes out of the earth and you put that in the lid, then maybe Errol can drink it and doesn't have to drive down where you are.
I'm going to assume that Errol heard everything you tell me Errol is aware of.
Okay, that was one. Yeah, that was its origin, because creation was one of those. History. That was a really long time ago, like maybe 20,000 years. It's really old. Since that time, things have happened to it. Things that have changed it. The people who created it died. The next people who had it died. The people after that died. There was a continent it was on, gone. Nihilism. Meat life ends. All things end. After 20,000 years, whole civilizations that you've never even heard of were created and thrived and expanded, declined, and went away. So what you see in this incredible flash of images that probably leaves you a little stunned is 20,000 years of teapot.
I am stunned.
God damn it, I'm feeling emotional over a teapot.
It wants to be destroyed?
It's so
Its
old.
purpose.
It's so old that everything it's ever known and ever will know is gone, and the longer it exists, the more it will just feel more and more lost. I guess it has some kind of sentience to it, if it kind of like has this like finally it's over. Because it's like it's existed for so long that at some point it's just like nothing has a meaning anymore, because in 100 years, in 1,000 years, everything's going to be gone again. It's like everything else is eroding away, and this teapot is just sitting there unable to get out of it, basically.
Okay.
Lothario asked how the teapot was doing. Thought I'd share.
Not good.
No, that's cool. No, it's important to be open with your emotions, and I'm glad this teapot shared. And I want to lend a listening ear. That's a lot of information to flash through my mind. Hopefully, it does it quickly enough that I can not drown.
You're not drowning. Yeah, it's a teapot.
I was going to say, at this point, I would be like, Reine, we need to pull him up. He's been down there a minute. Like, we should probably start.
Yeah, wait. Let's, since this is kind of sad.
What do you mean, wait?
Don't worry about it. You have enough air. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, I will now have enough air. I will manifest it into existence. Still get some source water so that we have this poor teapot's last act not be poisoning the entire world, but have it be saving Errol's life. I feel like that would give everything a bit more of a nicer tone.
Okay.
Lothario, the flashbacks continue.
Lay it on me. What's going on?
Time continued to pass. Everyone uses this teapot, hand after hand after hand, and eventually what it got was angry. The extreme rage that fills this teapot is like what happens when you boil water in a teapot or in a kettle, and then it's like that sound of the steam escaping from it, and that's what this teapot is full of now. It is so over that it wants all of you to die. It's more into wanting the destruction of all life.
Okay, well, never mind.
Okay. I know what to do, but I'm going to send my thoughts to Errol and say, please pull me up right now. So he's making hand motions like I'm being pulled up.
Do we need a feats of strength check from Reine?
Nah, you pull him up. It's just a spring water.
Okay.
That was 20,000 years, Lothario. I do apologize for all of the 20,000 years. There were some sad moments in there. You know, there were some, like, I'm sorry for you, teapot. And then it's just been rage for a really long time.
I understand. I'm pulled up. I hold the teapot very gently. And I don't know if it can understand speech, but I will try to talk to it and say, Teapot, I could feel what you were feeling. And I know there's been a long time where you've not been respected or people cared about you. You were just used for their benefit. And that doesn't need to keep happening. I know the Deep Ooze was using you for maybe a purpose that you were... Let me see if I can fix this.
Talk to traumatized ceramics.
So I'm talking to Teapot, and I'm saying, you've had generations of trauma, and that's important for us to recognize. And I just want you to know that you're free. Nobody needs to use you for their purposes anymore. You can do you. And, you know, if you are somebody that could use a friend, we could be your friends. And I don't know, I know a group of rabbit folk that are probably the happiest people I ever met in my whole life. And you would do very well with them because they would treat you kindly. They would do for you what you've probably always wanted. And generation after generation, you could see them. You could see them grow, and you could help guide them even. Your experience is worth something. And you matter. And I think it's important that everybody knows that they matter. Everything is beautiful. And y'all need to just understand that we want you around. And you don't need to be filled with rage. And you don't need to let people use you. Have the boundaries that are healthy for you. And you can tell us what you need. And as your friends, we can help you. That's all. And, you know, I don't know if I can gather feelings from the teapot.
As the lore spell ends, you gather one final feeling from the teapot. Look at me being so generous as a GM.
I appreciate that.
And that is that the teapot feels that it will blink and your entire civilization will be gone. This must end, it says to itself and to you and to the whole world.
So there's no coming back?
I mean, as the lore spell fades, it doesn't even think of you as an ant.
I'm just a prop in its world.
A prop that the moment it goes to use you, you'll rot and fade away. time's on way fast forward for this thing.
I'm okay. I know my value doesn't come from you, Teapot. I know I'm important. And I know my friends are important, and I know you may not feel that way. And that's okay. You got a different life. I met old folks that are like thousands of years old, and they got a different perspective than I do. And you have a lot to give, and I know it's just a blink, but I hope you can help the people that are around you and not consider us so lowly. And no, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss as well. It clearly would like to be destroyed, but how do we accomplish this? Reine, do you have any ideas?
I do know that your salvation comes with destruction, Errol. And maybe you need to hold this teapot while you save yourself.
Oh.
And then both of y'all be free.
That's a good idea.
That is a really good idea. So then my other question is, GM, can I bring the water to my lips after he's removed the teapot?
Yes. The water springs forth from the ground anew, pushing the teapot-touched water downstream, welling up from the earth.
So I think that's a good idea. I hold the teapot, I drink the water, and you guys run away far, far away.
I do want to say goodbye to the teapot. I feel bad, you know?
You spent 20,000 years with it. That makes sense.
I feel bad. I'm just saying, teapot, you're worth something. And not just because of what you do, but because of who you are. And you will be missed.
Reine, would you like to say anything to our teapot?
You had a good drip, or I guess a rather bad one in the end. Reine is not good at this. She's like, she would like do like a pat. She would like pat it on the top of the lid and be like, there you go. Yeah.
Errol will clutch the teapot close to him, and he will say, "The price you paid for immortality was steep."
Ooh, that's a good one, Errol.
Errol, I'd like you to narrate us out. End season 2023.
I think I make my rounds, and I thank my friends. Reine, you've always been a very kind friend. Lothario, thank you for being on so many adventures with me. Just in case I don't make it out. Let's hope this works. And I will ask them to leave or like get a safe distance away, and then I will drink from the pond.
Oh, I still have that mind link going, so this is exciting.
Holding the teapot, Errol above his head, Errol walks into the spring up to his waist and bends down, holding the teapot at face level, speaking softly to it. Only Lothario and Errol know the final words that were said between them. As Reine books it in like super hard rain form, carrying Lothario and Xavier and like running downhill, down into the gorge, way downstream, and waiting for them to get way out of sight. Errol dips down into the water. It's like being baptized, and you get some water in your mouth and you can drink it, and it's fresh and clean. And as you initially, when you drink it, that water has touched the air, but you get down underwater and you drink some, and it makes your insides feel all bubbly. They bubble and they steam, and with a craw, a dragon's soul erupts from your body, Errol, blowing up this entire area. Is a huge crater now. It still has the spring welling out of it because that comes from deep within the ground. And the rocks and the water and the teapot go boom, and a mushroom cloud way in the distance for Lothario and for Reine. But Errol, you're fine. And you feel like finally you're free from the fire. Remember all those long times ago when Kalimon found you on the shore and you were burned? Finally you're free.
Reine would have probably tried to grab not Tin Man, and bad haircut guy on her way out if they aren't already gone.
So, am I still
Yes.
holding the teapot, or is it gone?
It got mushroom clouded.
What about my boots?
Oh no, they got mushroom clouded. Any last words for season 2023, other than Errol's got to find some new boots?
A steep price to pay for life.
Well, is he naked, like completely naked, or what's going on?
I came out with Drake, who has been with us the whole time, following behind, and you guys didn't know, and I'm holding Drake over my nether regions.
A steep price to pay for boots. No, wait, for life. Darn, messed it up.
I whisper to Reine, I'm like, I don't know if you know this, but Errol is completely naked right now. And I wish I could turn this mind link off.
Anything else you guys want before the season ends?
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Yeah, and like if there's anything else we missed, you can do it in the epilogue. All right.
We
Joining
had
us
a good
today.
trip.
Joining us today were Lothario.
Well, that was an exciting adventure, and I'm so glad y'all joined us.
Errol.
I need a whole new wardrobe.
And Reine.
I'm glad my now naked friend survived, and my musical friend managed to give that poor teapot some closure.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have you heard of Screens of the Stone Age? This is a podcast where scientists review movies about prehistory. Modern classics like Encino Man and the Flintstones, some hidden gems, and some fossils better left buried. Join hosts Joshua Lindahl, Dr. Kimberly Plomp, and Dr. Ross Barnett as they separate fact from fiction in Stone Age movies. Check out Screens of the Stone Age, a podcast.